Hello, welcome back to Autumn. My name is Beast, and today we're back with Princess Evangile. Last time we finished Tommy's route, and Tommy is still best girl. So yeah, anyways, starting this recording has been a bit of a doozy because the fucking OBS wouldn't start capturing the game for some reason. But it sadly fixed itself after like 5 minutes, so it wasn't that much of a doozy, really. Also, none of y'all's commented which route you want to see next. None of y'all's. By God. Jesus, so it's up to me, I guess. Also, as for the background roulette, on the left-hand side, we have Meguru lovingly gazing upon Hoshina's feelings in crystalline foam from Sabbath of the Witch, and on the right hand side we have Kaoruko. Fuck off. Yeah, we have Kaoruko on her little honeymoon-like thing, I guess, where she's wearing the China dress from Wagamama High Spec, and that is the best. Not actually, since Sakuragi is best girl, so there's that. But you know what I fucking mean. Let's just click on this so it doesn't and nothing happened. But yeah, since it's up to me, apparently. Actually, no. Let's read through the both of them, just to see which one sounds more interesting. Mitsuki started to develop feelings for Masaya after he saves Marika, whom she reveres greatly. However, after spending so many years hating men, she's having a hard time expressing her feelings. This caused Mitsuki nothing but agony. Over her summer vacation, she helps Masaya with his homework. Just like that, they gradually grow closer. That sounds boring. That sounds kind of boring. Until now, Marika was seen as the respected student council president. She never questioned herself before, but since falling in love with Masaya, her confidence has wavered. Why? Because she cannot fall in love with someone while she continues to hide her true self. She decides to reveal who she really is and face Masaya head on. Is she a masochist? Is that gonna be the joke behind this? But that does sound more interesting than Mitsuki's. I'm still gonna let a coin decide though. Where the fuck did that damn thing open again? Oh, over on this side. Coin toss. Okay, heads Marika, tails Mitsuki. Heads. Okay, Marika it is. There we go. We'll be starting with Marika. The face behind the mask. Oh, it's not even Premiere Judgment yet. What? With the Premiere Judgment now 3 days away, it left me feeling incredibly uneasy. All the students on campus had safely acknowledged that I was innocent of the charges levied against me. But whether or not I would be able to stay at Vincennes was another issue entirely. When I said charges, I meant the feigned assault incident. Man, that really was a surprise. As I took a bite of my food, I idly thought back on that time. I don't need to recall what happened, since I do know about it. However, I don't want to fuck up anything, so I'm gonna save here, just like... Monica had cried back then, huh? Even before the Gardien came. Those tears showed how she truly felt, and she wasn't just acting out a part. Later, I ultimately learned that she hadn't tried to trap me out of disdain or disgust. More so that her grandmother had concocted the entire scheme. Grandmother had noticed Marika's seemingly strange behavior over the phone. She immediately... hold on. She immediately headed for Vincennes to see how she was doing, but... Marika had already ceased to be her puppet. She exposed herself for the life-sized marionette she had been, and explained how righteous I was in front of everyone, once again comparing me to the fucking Christ. As such, she completely overcame her grandmother. It was true that Marika had caused the entire incident, but she ended up saving me in the end. That really was a surprise. Unnerved by her distrusting classmates and peers, she reached out and kissed me, albeit on the cheek. Even so, I imagined that couldn't have been easy for a super high-class girl like Marika. I got beer again, by the way. I didn't have any yesterday, so don't fucking look at me like that. I touched my cheek, recalling how it had felt back then. It was only for an instant, but the sensation distinctly remained. Including the whiff of her lovely scent, which had drifted under my nose. Although she only did it as a matter of convenience, due to that kiss, I had caught myself following her with my eyes before I knew it. It was the same even now. I did it again. Marika would often be seen surrounded by what appeared to be a group of underclassmen ever since then. A small crowd had formed over in the corner, and her face came in out of view from behind them. I wish she was always like that. She was La Toute Sœur, everyone's big sister. There was nothing strange about her being the center of attention, but she is kind of on my mind. If I looked closely, I could tell she had a troubled look on her face. May have been my imagination, but she definitely didn't look like she was enjoying the attention. And she looked that way every single time. Since I couldn't hear her voice, I couldn't say for sure. Spadritsko and Konomi seated a short way away, and decided to ask them. Good afternoon, could I have a moment?
Masaya-sama, gokigenyo.
Can I have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior, me?
Gokigenyo.
I have a quick question for you. Took a seat across from them, tray in hand. Then I gestured towards Marika with my eyes. Is it always like that?
Nani ga desho?
Marika. I lowered my voice a bit. Is she always surrounded by friends and underclassmen like she is right now? Ritsuko looked over at Marika and tilted her head.
どうだったでしょうか。ただ、今のような光景、私もあまり見た覚えはありませんが、好みはどう？私も同じです。
I see. I mouthed I knew it to myself. No matter how popular Marika may be, being like that practically every day would be a bit unnatural. Got it, thanks a bunch.
はい。
The next day, July 7th. The next day was the same as it was the day before, both in terms of being surrounded by people and Marika's troubled expression. I couldn't imagine she was being bullied even in my dreams. However, I couldn't help worrying and ultimately decided to try speaking to her. When I approached, I could tell my name was coming up in conversation. What are you talking about? I listened closely, but one girl noticed me and turned around. Ah! Her eyes went wide before she alerted everyone around to my presence, looking awfully flustered. As soon as she did, the mood quickly turned cold.
Masaya-kun.
Good afternoon.
ごきげんよう。
It may have been my imagination, but her face looked fairly stiff. Well, it feels so out of place. With the exception of Marika, I could feel everyone's cold eyes on me. However, if I were to turn it back down now, she'd never know why I spoke to her, so I made up my mind to press on. Marika?
はい。何でしょう？
Is something bothering you? She seemed bewildered by my question and looked to be at a loss for words. Maybe this was a mistake, so I thought that everyone around her piped up, supporting that thought. My, what are you saying? That kind of came out of nowhere. That's right, saying something like that makes it sound like we're harassing Onethama. That's impossible. Please don't misconstrue things in such an odd way. No, that wasn't what I meant. He couldn't seem to accept what I was saying and kept trying to argue the point. Just then, she spoke up from the back of the crowd with a dignified tone.
みんな、口を閉じなさい。こんなに人が集まっているのですから、まさやくんはそれで気になっただけのことです。そうですよね。
Whoops. Yes, it is. I was actually worried about the look on her face more than anything else, but I definitely couldn't say that.
なんでもないのです。まさやくん、お気遣いありがとう。
Yeah.
本当に。
The only way I could respond to that unexpected additional comment was with a tiny bow of my head. I was a little reluctant to do so, but ended up leaving. I wonder what they were talking about. I was fairly certain my name had come up.
どうかしたの?
Oh, no, just wondering what they were talking about. Lisa looked over at the crowd of people.
そうね。なんだか妙な感じよね。ああいう風に人が集まっているところって初めて見るわ。
Oh, you haven't? I figured as much.
それで何の話をしていたの?
I shook my head. I'm not really sure.
そう。私もちょっと気にはなっているんだけど。
Oh, then why don't you ask them, Lisa? Lisa looked opposed to the idea for some reason. You can't?
前にも言ったかもしれないけど。
She lowered her voice.
私、そんなに仲がいいわけじゃないのよ、マリカ様と。それでなくても、ちょっと声をかけにくいものがあるわね。
Why?
だって相手はラピュトゥスールよ。私は下級生だし、大げさだけど、恐れ多いじゃない。
If you put it that way, aren't you the Soleil d'école?
それはそれ。
I see. That's how it worked. Mitsuki mentioned the hierarchy the other day as well. In addition, based on Vincennes' tradition of addressing upperclassmen with the summer honorific, it might give even Risa second thoughts.
ああいう風にみんなで会いに行くなら、それは気楽でしょうけどね。
The crowd still hadn't dispersed. If she were always treated that way during her meals, then I imagine it would be rather unsettling even for someone who always maintained their gentle smile like Marika. That's it. Times like these, it may be quicker to ask Tommy a best girl.
最近のマリカ様について？そりゃあもちろん情報はキャッチしているわよ。
Aren't they even playing her theme? You really gonna torture me like this, are ya? I really want to go for her round again. She is best girl. She will always be best girl. I figured you would. I commended her, not entirely meaning it as a compliment. Lisa turned me down when I asked her about it, and said it would be difficult for her to bring it up. なら、マリカ様ではなくて、取り囲んでいる方に尋ねればよかったのに。You have a point. The idea probably never came to mind since they had all treated me quite coldly. でも、リセさんはなんて言ったの？私はむしろそっちの方が興味があるわ。Oh, let me think. Repeated Lisa's words exactly how she said them earlier this afternoon. なるほどね。Tommy nodded repeatedly. 一目置かれる存在には、そういう苦労があるのかもしれないわね。What does that mean? マリカ様とリセさんと言ったら、バンセーヌの二大巨頭だわ。まあ、リツコもいるけどね。That sounds hella rude towards Ritsuko. どちらも抜群の美人で、頭もいい。一名も最上級のもの。そうなると、周りがどうしても引いてしまって、結果浮いた存在になる。そういうのって、もしかして、どちらも共通して感じてきたことなのかもしれないわね。I get it. I was becoming more impressed by the second. She was incredibly insightful. Just what I would expect from someone who wrote newspaper articles every day.
そういうのが磁石の同じ極みたいに作用して、リセさんも聞きに行けなかったのかもしれない。あの二人があんまり仲良しではなかったというのは私も知ってるけどね。
So, why are those girls hanging around Marika?
ふふん。なんだと思う？
Don't leave me hanging.
でも、なんでそんなにマリカ様のことを気にしてるの？
I don't fucking know. Why? Not really sure. She took me by complete surprise.
ほっぺにチューされたからか。
I can't really deny that, but you know, how can I put this? I was there when she wasn't in a lot of trouble and all. It just happened to work out that way, but it did save her life. Her mood seemed to have improved to some degree before she spoke to her grandmother on the phone. I want to hear what you have to say, Monica. Who cares what god your grandmother or everyone else sells? What's important is what you have to say, isn't that right? It's like she ended up on my mind for exactly that reason.
なるほどね。
So about Marika.
じらしたのは何も意味なくやったわけじゃないのよ。なんでかというと、君が関わっているから。
Me? Mitsuki's point of view.
マリカ様、ごきげんよう。あら、ミツキ、ごきげんよう。どうしたの？今日は気になることがあって伺ったんですが。気になること？
Mitsuki took a seat in the chair. Though she had only been away for a few days, it felt as though it had been ages since she visited the student council room. It was a place she used to visit nearly every day.
このところ、下級生がマリカ様にまとわりついているじゃないですか。何事かと思ったんです。やっぱり友達はありがたいわね。こうして事情を聞きに来てくれたのはあなたが初めてだわ。そうなのですか？
No, she's not. Marika nodded.
でも、いいえ。
Marika blushed for some reason and shook her head. After gently clearing her throat, a lonesome smile crossed her face.
少し寂しく感じていたところだったんです。最上級生がそんなことではいけませんね。マリカ様はラテュトスールですから、みんなで会いに行く分には平気ですが、きちんと事情を尋ねるとなると尻込みしてしまうのだと思います。そうなのでしょうね。本当の私はそんな風に思われることもない矮小な存在なのに。ごめんなさい、妙なこと言って。いえ。
Marika had changed. That's what went through Mitsuki's head. In the past, she surely would have felt lonesome and may have even resented Masao, whom was the source of this change. However, that was not the case any longer. Marika herself was delighted by this change because she knew that now she could be her true self. During the time when Marika herself hadn't realized it yet, it was as if she were wearing a mask of righteousness. But now that her mask had been removed, she seemed much more attractive than before.
お昼の時などマリカ様が困っているように見えたので、それで私も気になったんです。みんなにも困ってしまうわ。実を言うと、マサヤくんのことを聞かれていたの。マサヤさんの
About me?
そうよ。君のこと以外でみんながスクラム組んでぶつかっていく理由がありますか？
He just looks at her like, I mean, I can't think of any other reason, but that's only because me also would not be a reason I could think of. What did I do to Marika to warrant that?
あなた、何をぬるくてゆるいこと言ってるのよ。
Tommy looked a bit unenthused.
マリカ様が本当に君に惹かれているのかどうかに決まってるでしょ。
I have several questions.
で、そこのところどうなのよ。
What good will it do to ask me that?
それもそうでした。ま、冗談よ。私、マリカ様にだって聞いていないし。
Really?
我がラモード・コティディエンヌは人のプライバシーにズケズケ立ち入るような真似はしないからね。
I get it.
ほら、いくら君を救うためとはいえ、あのグランデフルールが人前でチューをしたわけでしょ。直後なんてもう学校中が大騒ぎだったわよ。経典同地の大山明堂ってやつ。
I had the vote to worry about back then, and didn't have time to pay much attention to the eternal state of the school. They did?
ええ、だって倒れた子もいたのよ。
That's worrying. I don't think I heard something like that before.
そんなわけで、みんなはもう興味津々というわけ。果たしてあの行為が本当に単なる便宜のためのものに過ぎなかったのか、それとも本物の行為があってのことなのか。ちなみに私の情報網によると、マリカ様は一貫して言葉を濁しているみたいよ。
I see.
まあそういうことだから、マサヤさんも気になるなら自分で尋ねてみなさいな。
I will.
じゃあそんなところかしら、話は。
Yeah. I mean, thank you.
どういたしまして。
Just watch out you don't get a concussion from your microphone and recorder.
わかりました。先日のボートの時のことですよね。マリカ様は、ベーゼをしましたから、それでみんなも気になっている。
She did indeed think that was a drastic measure. At this point, the fact the kiss was on the cheek was secondary. The Grande Fleur and La Toute Sœur, Marika, who reigned over the academy to a certain extent, had kissed a boy in public. That was undoubtedly surprising and deservedly so.
実を言えば、私、少し気になっていたのですが、カリオンの時計台からの帰りです。マリカ様が、赤い顔で、マサヤさんのこと、見つめていましたよね。マリカ様は本当に、マサヤさんのことが好きなのでしょうか。勘違いしないでくださいね。
She quickly added,
何もゴシップ的な関心から尋ねるわけじゃないんです。ただ、私はやっぱりマリカ様のことが気になるから。
わかっているわ。ありがとう、いつき。そうね。では、あなたにだけは正直に言います。この気持ちがどういうものなのか、自分でも測りかねているところはありますが。
Marika held a hand to her chest.
私はきっと、マサヤ君に惹かれているのだと思う。
やっぱり。
あの夜、私は思ったものだわ。私の心を捉えたマサヤ君の言葉、あの時の気持ち、それは生涯忘れるものではないと。
あの時のマサヤさん、確かに立派でしたからね。
さっき言いかけたことですが、事情を尋ねてくれたのも美月が初めてではないんですよ。お昼、マサヤ君が声をかけてくれたの。
As Marika happily said this, Mitsuki stared at her with a dazzled look in her eyes.
あのマリカ様にここまで思われるのだから、あの人もなかなか大したものだわ。
周りに人もいたのに、 そうした行為はきっと勇気がいると思うのだけど。
ええ、そうですね。私はその場を見ていませんが、周りはきっと冷たい反応だったんじゃないですか？
ええ、その通りです。
マサヤさんもきっとそのことは分かっていた。にもかかわらず声をかけた。それは確かに勇気と言って過言ではないと思います。
その時も私嬉しくて、周りに人もいるというのに一瞬別世界に連れて行かれたような気が。
I kind of cut off her giggle there. You know what? Let's let her have her
周り
fun.
に人もいるというのに一瞬別世界に連れて行かれたような気が。周りに人も。
That's not what I meant to do. Mizuki felt as though this was the first time she had ever seen Marika blush and giggle.
これこそが本当の変化ね。それで、ではこれからどうするのですか？
She's gonna trace the approaches with the Irish approach.
どうするというと？
いわゆるアプローチとか告白とか。
Just the fucking expression is like, that's something you do? She had not meant to say something so odd, but Marika seemed surprised.
アプローチ、告白、私が。私、今あなたにそう言われるまでその発想全くなかったわ。
I was joking about her just going, that's something people do, but it's actually something she thought? Like, wait, that's a thing I can do?
そうなのですか？
She's a bit of a dunce, isn't she?
いえ、もしかしたらあったのかもしれない。ただ自分の出る幕はないとそう思い込んでいて。
I guess she would feel bad about doing that after what she did.
そんなことはありませんよ。
あと私はマサヤ君にひどいことをしてしまった。そんな私に好きになる資格はない。
Miss from Marcia! That's bullshit!
マリカ様、友人として一つだけアドバイスをさせてください。
Marika had been hanging her head, but now raised it.
そんな風に自分を卑下するのはやめましょう。
Yeah, exactly, that's my job.
幸いマサヤさんは気にしてはいないようです。いえ、逆に言えばそうだとしたらなおさらぶつかっていく必要があります。結局ここでこうしていたところで事態は何も進展しないわけですし。
そうね、確かにあなたの言う通りだわ。ありがとう、ミツキ。今のアドバイスのおかげで大前の深い暗闇が照らされたようです。
Quite eloquent, aren't we?
いえ、私こそ生意気を言ってしまって。
では私、この思いをどうしたらぶつけることができるか今から真剣に考えてみようと思います。
はい。
By the way, I feel the need to talk about the D&D session today. Like I said, I mentioned before that I would be having a D&D session today. And, by God, this D&D session was a hot piece of garbage. Basically, we are currently a party of 2 rogues, 1 cleric, 1 paladin, 1 wizard, and 1 monk, with me being the monk. The paladin's name was Arthur, and the cleric's name was Davina. Basically, at the beginning of a campaign, a group of 5 bandits started attacking a female half-orc. And basically, I got initiative as the second place. So first, the half-orc called Yagra just kind of immediately one-shot one of the bandits, and then my monk just out of fucking nowhere came in and fucking knocked out this one dude with a crossbow. With one combo. Basically scaring the shit out of everyone. Then Arthur, the paladin, basically intimidated everyone into stopping, except my character, because I rolled a nat 20. So my character just stood there. Oh, come on! We really stopping already? Fine. Y'all's fucking paying for my drinks. Like, that's actually something I did. I even argued with the DM about that, because I basically wanted to, let's say, coerce the 3 bandits that were still conscious to pay for a free round of drinks for everyone at the tavern. Which I would have to, which the DM said I would have to roll persuasion. But I managed to argue that in this situation, I should be able to roll using intimidation as well, since I have proficiency in intimidation. Which succeeded. And then suddenly a troll showed up. As you can see, at this point in time, only 2 people in the party did anything. Then a troll showed up, being sucked dry by, what were the fucking name? Sturges, I think? I think their name was Sturge. Like a bunch of Sturges. Like I don't know how many Sturges were on this on the troll's back, sucking him fucking dry, while like 3 Sturges were around him. And basically, first off, one of the Sturges attached himself to me, already dealing 5 HP damage, leaving me with only 4. Yagra immediately fucking smacked the damn thing off of me and basically saved me. And then Davina decided to heal the troll. The troll then proceeded to attack Arthur, rolled a nat 1, and immediately got his fucking kneecap broken. Then another NPC came from the sideline and fucking cut the tendons on his other leg. Then one of the Sturges attacked Trix, one of the rogues, missed. Trix tried to counterattack because Trix got ready earlier, but wasn't actually gonna help or anything. Counterattacked, missed. My character is finding my character's turn again. He decides to grab one of the scimitars the bandits dropped and chuck it at the bat that's still flying near the troll. Fucking missed. Yagra basically went, you know what, fuck it. We can make this a contest. Grabbed the other scimitar, threw it, cut the Sturge in half. Arthur Sparta kicked the troll down the hatch it came out of. And Trix grabbed the bat and bit its wing off, killing it. And then Davina healed me. Because there was nothing else to heal. So as you can see, the wizard, the rogue, did fuck all. The other rogue only did something to protect themselves. Davina actively worked against us until the fucking fight was over. And it was basically all me. Like Theron, the monk that I play. Arthur, the human paladin that one of the admins is playing. And 2 NPCs. Also, I've... fucking judge me all I want, all you want, but for some reason I'm already shipping Yagra and Theron because I really like the dynamic between those 2. Like the moment the fight was over and they accepted a quest from the tavern owner and got 10 gold for it in advance, my character was like, okay, you know what? Arthur, Yagra, Davina, I guess, let's drink, and then proceeded to challenge Yagra to a drinking contest, only barely losing. I really like the dynamic between those 2. Anyways, enough talk. Have at you! That's gotta stop. But yeah, I because of the D&D campaign, I got up at like 5:30 in the morning, and it did not start until like an hour later. That night, I took a seat and fell deep into thought. Yeah, I did read it right. And surprisingly, I wasn't thinking of math problems or anything of the sort. That's how it is. If you're curious, then you should talk to her about it. That's the answer I got, but how should I actually proceed? Fucking Marika suddenly kicks in the door. I fucking love you! Well, that just solves the problem. For starters, maybe I should ask her out on a date. That'd be sudden, but it would be near impossible to have a calm conversation with her on campus, which meant going out was my only option. If we went out alone, I'm sure it would be a wonderful date. A date, huh? Well, that doesn't sound bad at all. Assuming she agreed to it, of course. Agreed to go, of course. Still, there was no telling whether she'd agree or not unless I gave asking her a shot. Right now, I just had to muster up the courage. Wait. Oh, I know. I looked at the calendar at the corner of my desk, then clunked my chair. Premier Judgment was coming up the day after tomorrow. Well, I'm nervous all of a sudden. I'll probably be okay. But if I am expelled, then asking her on a date was out of the option. I won't be able to see her anymore. Not just Marika, but everyone else too. That would be far too lonely. I'm begging you, seriously. I clasped my hands and prayed once more. Didn't he say that he wasn't a believer?
なんか変ね。どうしたのよ、リセ。せっかくプルミエールジャッジメントを通過したというのに、さっきから難しい顔じゃない。だって、変じゃないですか。何が？結果です。もちろん、私はマサヤさんが無事通過するものと思っていたわ。
Yes, my stomach had been in knots since earlier, but it was decided I would be able to stay at Vincennes for the remainder of the school year. I was over the moon, but Risa looked down at the dumps since earlier.
でも私は満場一致という風に予想していたの。さっきごく少数とはいえ反対の票があった。なんだか納得がいかないし怖くもあるわ。
There are those that are angry that Marika likes him, probably.
ねえ。
Marika looked to everyone else for approval.
いくらバンフェンヌが狭いとはいえ400人からの人がいるんだし、その全員が心を一つにするというのはやっぱり難しいんじゃないかしら。
そうそう。何事も自信過剰なのはリセさんの悪い癖よ。
そうかしら。
Lisa still had her head craned to the side.
だってみんなだって確信したでしょ。妙義様が万世のに来た時のことですけれど、無事ボートを通過して、あの時は確かに全校生徒の心が一つになっていたんだわ。なのに今回はそうではない。たったの1週間でどうして変化が。
She suddenly stopped and stared at me.
そうだ、マサヤさん。この前マリカ様に話しかけていたでしょ。
Whoops. Huh? That?
きっとそれだわ。
Huh?
何？どういうこと？
あの時周りに下級生が集まっていたのよ。それでその人たち話しかけたマサヤさんに冷たい目を向けた。反対票が入ったのはきっとそのせいだわね。
Lisa nodded assuredly to herself. No way, just from talking to her a second? Even though I left immediately after?
でも相手はあのマリカ様だもの。
なるほど。それはあるかもしれないわね。
There's no way I could object when they both put it that way. I see. That's what happened? The Grand Fleur and La Toute Sœur. Now I knew the meaning of the title, it would appear I hadn't even begun to imagine its influence and the depths of the students' admiration for her.
なるほどね。話しかけたらうるさがられちゃったわけね。マリカ本人ではなく、その取り巻きの方に。
Yeah, sounds like it.
でも何か用事でもあったの？
No, not really. I just wondered why everyone was swarming around her.
そうね。お昼の食堂であんな風にしているのは私も初めて見るような気がするけれど。もう
だから嫌なのよね。
Lisa looks pleased. Once before she had told me. Being part of someone else's retinue means you become dependent on them for ways of looking and thinking about things. So she probably felt ashamed by how everyone around Marika had overreacted.
まあいいじゃない。とにかく勝ったことには違いないのだから。
あら、優しいのね。
まあ学校変革は置いておいて、マサヤさんも1年くらいは我が校に残ってもいい人材に私も思いました。それに
Just as he was about to continue, Mitsuki got an awkward look on her face and fell silent.
いえ、なんでもありません。まあいいわ。確かに美月さんの言う通り、勝ちは勝ち。
Lisa said, having pulled herself together.
ではマサヤさん、今日からは来年のグランデボートに向けて頑張ってもらうわよ。
Yeah.
何？こんなところに呼び出したりして。
This is her theme. There's something I wanted to ask you.
聞きたいこと？
I had her come to the Rose Garden since I figured the fewer eyes on us, the better. The weather was quite comfortable, but now the school had finished for the day, and now that school had finished for the day, the Rose Garden was deserted. Actually, it's about Marika.
マリカ様の？
Some remark may have surprised her a bit. This will sound like a strange question.
こんなところに呼び出す時点で想像はつくわ。言ってごらんなさいな。
Her surprisingly kind response, although it would be rude to say as much, gave me the push I needed, and I said it in one breath. What are Marika's hobbies?
ちょっと待って。あなた、どうしてそんなこと聞いてくるの？
To be honest, I was thinking of asking Marika on a date.
デート？
You're mad, aren't you?
なんで私が怒るのよ。
Your eyebrows say as much. It's just... Your eyes and voice were both scary.
そうじゃなくて、別に怒ったわけじゃなくて、ちょっと驚いたのよ。
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
でも、不思議だわ。あなた、なんでデートに誘おうと思ったの？
Why? Because I want to get to know her better. If you're wondering what's going on, I don't really know how to answer. I just kinda want to do this. I continued talking, but Mitsuki didn't look like she was listening.
そう。そっか。
She was mumbling to herself.
それが、マリカ様の言っていたことなんだわ。誰も事情を尋ねようとしない。それは、知ろうとしないということ。失礼。こちらの話。
I noticed, and it's worrying. Huh?
なるほど。デートね。ちょっと驚いたけど。
I'm sure.
でも、やっぱりあなたものんきなところがあるわね。
Huh? What do you mean?
昼間、リセさんと私が言っていたこと、もう忘れたのかしら。あなたがマリカ様に話しかけただけで、もう得票にまで影響が出たのよ。であれば、デートのことが私の口から漏れたら、来年のグランデボートは一体どうなることか。なんてね、冗談よ。口外なんて私は決してしないわ。
What the heck? You're going to give me a heart attack!
それで、マリカ様の趣味ね。趣味。やだ、そんな。
Fuck, I don't know! What's the matter? I timidly asked her, expression having quickly turned scary.
考えてみれば、私、 知らないんだわ。マリカ様の趣味。何も。
We have hit an impasse! Let's see!
気軽に返事をするわね。
は？
私は前期からの入学だわ。ということは、もう10年くらいもマリカ様と接してきたことになる。なのに、趣味の一つも知らなかっただなんて。
Okay, a smile just crept onto my face because, I can still see the right side monitor. And the background just changed. Ah, it's best girl. It's best girl Tommy. Just having a smile brighter than a million fucking suns as Masya tastes her curry. I want more Tommy around. I want more Tommy story. I want to see a storyline where it's just them heavily married or something with kids or some. I'm fucking scared. Like, give me something like that. And no, I should respond. If it's true that, considering how many years they had known one another, it seemed a little strange. Still, I wonder if it was worth being so shocked over it.
結局、私も同じだったのかな。他の人と、周りと。でも、あなたは違う。
Mitsuki stared at me. Scared at me? Stared at me. Then her expression suddenly relaxed.
ごめんなさいね。マリカ様の趣味、私もよく知らないの。
I see. I'll ask her myself then.
ええ、そうしてくれるかしら。
Okay, that was all. Sorry for all the trouble. She shook her head. I took a couple steps, then turned around. You're not going back?
ちょっと、花を見てる。
Mm-hmm. See you later then.
ごきげんよう。以前の私ならきっと顔を真っ赤にして怒るか、あるいは鼻で笑ったはずだわ。マリカ様が男子とマサヤさんとだなんてなどと言って。でも今は怒ったり笑ったりするどころではないわね。
Like, she's just sitting here contemplating that. Suddenly Boss there runs past her. Huh? Suddenly a girl with a knife screaming about how he took her Marika-sama from her runs after him. This could pose a problem.
確かにぴったりの相手なのかもしれない。マリカ様の相手にマサヤさんは。
I wanted to take some time to mentally prepare myself, but tomorrow was the last Sunday before summer vacation. If I was afraid of people seeing us, I could have spoken to her on the telephone, but things like this really did need to be done face to face. With that in mind, I called Marika to meet me here. I turned around to the heavy sound of the door opening. She was at the entryway, looking around the cathedral somewhat uneasily. I raised my hand, showing her where I was.
マサヤ君、ごきげんよう。
Hello. I'm sorry to call you out here all of a sudden.
いいえ。
It was a bit of relief when Marika smiled gently at me. But then I got the feeling she always had a smile on her face. Her current smile was different from before. Her old smile exuded confidence and absolute righteousness. But it was different now, or so I wanted to believe.
私の顔に何か？
No, nothing. Here, please. I offered her the spot next to me and she sat down. A brush of sweet air swept over me in that instant. That was enough to make my heart race. Calm down, calm down. If I get too nervous, I won't be able to say it.
ここに来ると、あの時のことを思い出しますね。
Oh, it does.
私ったら、あんなことをしてしまって。
Marika blushed. Naturally, I knew that what such a thing was referring to.
マサヤ君。あの時は、
Whoops.
ごめんなさいね。
not at all. I shook my head. Everyone seems to have accepted me to a certain extent thanks to it, although things did get a little questionable after your grandmother came immediately after. Besides, it definitely wasn't a bad thing. Of course, I kept that comment to myself.
それと、あともう一つ。私、どうしても謝罪しないといけないことが。
は？
罠に陥れ、結果、誹謗中傷されるような真似をしてしまって、本当にごめんなさい。
Trap. She was talking about that incident. The Guardian screamed assaults. The Guardian screaming assaults still lingered in the depths of my ears. It makes sense that they would misunderstand. After all, Marika had her cleavage just exposed. Marika has really huge ones, huh? Was it really that stupid? She was here bowing her head deeply right in front of me. Please lift your head. I'm not worried about it anymore. I mean it. Her eyes were wet when she raised her head. That just proved how worried she was about it. And yeah, I was thinking about strange things. I felt seriously pathetic. Can we stop talking about your chest, please? She held her chest and let out a sigh of relief.
改めて謝罪することは、美月に後押ししてもらったんです。
美月 did?
ええ。きっと、私が一人で頭の中で考えているだけであれば、その勇気は出なかったと思います。
Sorry for cutting you off there.
では、私はこれで。
Hey? You stood up for a moment and blushed and sat back down again.
私ったら一体何を言っているんです？
She rapped against her head. What the fuck does that even mean? I still have no idea. Maybe it's finally time to look up what the fuck they mean whenever they mention rapped something. Ah! Just like basically like slightly like knock against it. That makes sense.
呼び出したのはマサヤくんなのに、すっかり用事を済ませた気分になってしまいました。
Can be scatterbrained at times too, huh, Marika?
そうですね。私などしっかりしているわけでもないんですよ。本当は。
In reality, she may have been very concerned about it herself. She said before that she felt as if a weight had been lifted off her chest, but it seemed like she had completed a major task instead.
それで、マサヤくんのご用件は？
Yes, my stomach clenched up. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. It's about tomorrow.
はい。
Would you like to go have some fun somewhere? She blinked in surprise for a good few seconds. Similarly to going, It was a reaction of pure wonder.
遊び？
Yes.
トランプとかでしょうか。レクリエーションルームで盛り上がっているところ、たまに見かけますが。
I will annihilate you and fucking Schafkopf. I actually will not because I'm bad at it. No. Not that. I meant outside of the school.
学校の外に。
It said strictly prohibited leaving campus without permission. For Marika, the student council president, that was likely an incredibly unexpected proposition. She stiffened up again for a few seconds, but I didn't look away. Can't turn back after coming this far.
でも、外出などということは。
Yes, I know, but if I ask Elise, we can sneak out. Or, if you were to do it, we might be able to go outside openly. Do you not like that idea?
正しくない行いだとは思います。
I'm sure you do. I scratched my hand.
ですが、私は正しい人間ではありませんからね。そんなことも先日ここで表明しました。誘っていただけるなら、私も 遊びに出たいと思います。
Really?
はい。
Thank goodness. Joy began to bubble up from the pit of my stomach. I had never asked a girl out on a date before, but mustering up all of that, all of my courage seemed to have been worth it.
では、白百合会や紅花会の皆さんと一緒にということでしょうか。
I was just playing around with something and therefore slightly lost my focus. Oh, no. I was startled by a question, but I had failed to actually mention who she would be going with. It would be alone. With me. Marika stiffened up again, but this time a red tinge gradually took to her cheeks. Any way you looked at her, Marika was a sheltered high-class girl, and secluded from the world at large, but she seemed to get what I was trying to say. Should we not? Marika shook her head left to right. This time I could feel the tension drain itself from my body. Maybe it was because of how happy I was, but my butt felt kind of itchy. That's weird.
では、明日出発するわけですね。
Yes.
わかりました。では、私はこれで。
Wait a second. We still need to figure out our plans for tomorrow, or rather, I would like to hash things out more with you. Marika blushed as expected and sat back down.
ごめんなさい。私ったらまた。
Not at all. This time was probably more due to shyness or tension rather than being scatterbrained. Marika was unbelievably beautiful, but she was very adorable when flustered. I took it up online. Looked it up online earlier, and surprisingly, I was able to connect to City Hall, even from the school.
市役所?
They are hosting an event and even put out flyers. But first, what do you like doing, Marika?
そうですね。
The aquarium, for example. If you like anything like that, I'd like you to tell me.
私が好きな遊びということですよね。
Right? Marika tilted her head and brooded over it for a short while. Was she having a hard time coming up with ideas because she had hardly ever gone out to have fun in the first place?
ですね。私、意外と好きというか、大好きなのが、
からくり? から
揚げ?
は?
ご飯なら唐揚げが好きなのですが。
She just tried to wriggle her way out of saying karaoke, didn't she? Sure. Marika's favorite food was karaage, huh? I was surprised you folks here, but there was no harm in remembering it.
それは置いておいて。
She suddenly started breathing deeply. Was that really something to get so nervous about? I didn't really understand her reaction.
本当を言いますと。
Yeah? からよ。
中国風の書体のことです。他にも意味がありますが。
Like she's just disappointed in herself. God damn it, I did it again. There's supposed to be things she likes, but she's kind of enthusiastic about it. Okay. Calligraphy? Look down at the pamphlet. Oh, calligraphy. If you want to see a calligraphy exhibition, they're apparently doing one at the Tsurugigaoka Public Gallery. Why don't we go with that?
そうですね。はい。
That's just what I would expect from you. What I would expect from you, Marika. Even your hobbies are refined. Now that I've decided on the place, we set a time and discussed how we could get out.
先ほど言っていたことですが、リサに頼むのではなく、私から言います。
Got it.
嘘をついてしまうことになりますが、それも構わないでしょう。私はもう自分がしたいことをするだけですから。
I nodded. Marika was manipulated by her grandmother's unseen hand was no more. She was now operating on her own will. So a light violation of school policies shouldn't be a big deal. Okay. That should be everything.
Hi.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
私もです。
I smiled wide. I was incredibly happy she had responded this way. Oh, please go ahead first. It'll be bad if anyone sees us walking together.
わかりました。では失礼いたしますね。ごきげんよう。
Though she looked somewhat confused, Marika left. It really would be bad. One of them in a million chance we were seen together. I recalled what Mitsuki and Rise said. My vote had dropped just from briefly speaking to her. There was no telling what would happen if they knew we were going on a date. I waited 10 minutes or so, then went outside. The night sky looked much more beautiful than usual for some reason. A date tomorrow. With Marika, huh? I was flustered, nervous, and my legs felt kind of shaky while we were talking. But as reality set in, the joy I felt grew deeper and deeper. Seriously looking forward to tomorrow. The end. Marika's approach. Oh, you're approaching me. I can't love the shit out of you without getting closer. If you were really intent on being cautious, we probably should have met up at the station, but I couldn't get out of school on my own. As such, we decided to meet underneath the large cherry tree. Since none of the faculty came or went on Sunday, the area was deserted. It's finally time. I couldn't just stand here calmly when I thought about what would come next. This was my first time ever going on a date with a girl. To say nothing of the fact that she was drop dead gorgeous older woman. You fucking know what it's about, my man. Oh, I'm getting myself all worked up. Marika emerged from between the school buildings and I lifted my bag from the tree trunk to greet her. Good afternoon. Whoops. You've never gone out before, have you? Seeing at Marika in her street clothes was a bit refreshing. It was dimly lit last night, and the time I saw her before that, I didn't have the time to properly appreciate it. I was about to say, like, she wore this last night, but then they immediately fixed it. Her fur-bearing jacket looked a bit hot for summertime, but the gorgeous aesthetic did suit her really well. What did you tell her?
先日のことで改めて事情を尋ねたいとのことなので、まさやくんと共に実家に呼ばれていると。特に疑った様子もなく、すんなり了承してくれました。
I see. Knowing that mistress, she may have thought her grandmother was going to reprimand me. The guardian had already acknowledged the situation, and we were able to go outside in short order. After we made it outside the gate and the guardian left, I burst out laughing. I passed by the guardian just now with a purposefully grave look on my face. I mean, I'm supposedly going to be scolded by Myogi, right? It would be weird if I were smiling. I'm sure that's how the mistress has interpreted it, though. Marika turned around to look at the school gate. I nodded. I honestly couldn't imagine her going outside on a whim.
まあ意味のない過程ではありますが、罪悪感を覚えたり 不安になったりで、とても笑顔を浮かべるどころではなかったと思います。正直に言えば、今日も部屋を出るまではどうかなと思う気持ちもあったのですが。
Oh, I figured as much.
でも、誘っていただいて嬉しかったのは本当です。
I'm glad.
いずれにしろ、まさやくんの顔を見たら、不安も躊躇もどこかに消えてしまいました。あるいは、誘ってくれたのがあなただから、私も出る気になったのかしら。
I wondered why she worded it that way, but I looked away without responding. Just then the bus came with perfect timing.
このバスに乗るのも帰省の時くらいですね。
Is your house close to the school?
はい。代々理事を務めている家はすべて同じ町内にあります。
Your grandmother acted as the director before she became an advisor as well, didn't she?
ええ。
Was attaining the position of director important to their household? I didn't really understand it. Your mother passed away from illness, leaving the Myogi family's board of directors slot vacant for a generation. You follow my logic, don't you? Your grandmother had said something like that.
祖母の気持ちもわかるんです。理事ともなれば、一生を万仙女に捧げることになりますから。
So, are you going to be on the board of directors in the future too, Marika? Huh? Well, it's kind of a strange reaction. She was staring at me, looking surprised.
私のことを私に尋ねてくれたのは、まさやくんが初めてですね。
That's sad. Huh?
ごめんなさい。こちらの話です。
I had absolutely no idea what she was talking about.
そうですね。私の将来。
Marika looked out the window.
以前はそれを所有のこととして考えていました。理事になることですが。
I took a moment to think about the implication of the phrasing a given. In this situation, I suppose it would mean it was a predetermined fact. Talking about your own future that way felt kind of lonely to me.
ただ、今は全くの白紙のように考えています。
I see. I was extremely relieved to hear that. This is your future, so you should give it some real thought.
え？
Marika smiled.
私が万仙女を愛する気持ち、それは確かに本物だと思います。ですから、私が自分自身の気持ちとして万仙女にとどまりたい。
Why not become a teacher there?
教職員となって、やがては理事となり、運営にも関わりたい。そのように自分自身として思えたら、祖母に言われたからという理由ではなしに、そんな時が来たら、私は喜んで万仙女に生涯を捧げようと思います。
Ah, that's great. Doing what you want to do is the most important.
自分がやりたいこと。そうですね。そうなると私は、そのやりたいことというのをこれから探さないといけません。
Marika said, showing a happy smile.
これまで考えたこともなかったことですから、探しがいもあるというものです。
You're going to pursue higher education, right?
はい、万世の女子大へ。
And you have plenty of time. I'm sure you'll find it. I said encouragingly.
私が今のような心境になれたのも、すべてはマサヤくんのおかげです。
I didn't do anything.
もちろん、美月やリセにも随分と助けられましたが、最初は不思議なことを始めるものだなと思っただけでしたが。
You mean accepting a transfer student?
ですが、蓋を開けてみれば、様々な物事が転がりつつある。歴史の重みに耐えかねていた万世女にとっては、それはやはり画期的なことだと思います。
Something like immediately came to mind when she mentioned the whole Pandora's box thing. Like, to those who know the actual myth that involved Pandora's box, was when it opened. I forgot what came out of it, but there's a single thing that stayed in the box, and that was hope, if I remember correctly. And so when she said but once that Pandora's box was opened, various changes began to occur. And my immediate thought was, let's hope that aspect of hope named Marcia stays in the box called Vincent. And I immediately wanted to shoot myself in the foot. Which is a strangely common common desire I have, despite the fact I do not own an actual gun. But yeah, like I'm curious, what was in Pandora's box again? Content, there we go. Okay. There were alternative accounts of jars or urns containing blessings and evils bestowed upon humanity in Greek myth, of which a very early account is related in Homer's Iliad. On the floor of Jove's palace there stand two urns, the one filled with evil gifts and the one filled with good ones. He for whom Jove, the Lord of Thunder, mixes for whom Jove, the Lord of Thunder, mixes the gifts he sends, will meet now with the good and now with the evil fortune. But he to whom Jove sends none but evil gifts will be pointed at by the finger of scorn. The hand of famine will pursue him to the ends of the world, and he will go up and down the face of the earth, respected neither by gods nor men. In a major departure from Hesiod, the 5th century BC Greek elegiac poet Theognis of Megara states, "Hope is the only good god remaining among mankind. The others have left and gone to Olympus. Trust, a mighty god, has gone. Restraint has gone from men. And the graces, my friend, have abandoned the earth. Man's judicial oaths are no longer to be trusted, nor does anyone revere the immortal gods. The race of pious men has perished, and men no longer recognize the rules of conduct or acts of piety." So yeah, hope is the only thing that remains. The poem seems to hint at a myth in which the jar contained blessings rather than evils. It is confirmed in the new era of the Aesopic fable recorded by Babrius, in which the gods sent the jar containing blessings to humans. Rather than a named female, it was a generic foolish man who opened the jar out of curiosity and let them escape. Once the lid was replaced, only hope remained, promising that she will bestow on each of us the good things that have gone away. But yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. I did a cringe again. Which are you in favor of, Marika, as far as school reform goes?
私は本当を言うとどちらでもよかったんです。
Really? Thought for sure she'd be in favor of keeping the status quo for whatever reason.
グランデボートでは生徒の総意が示されます。バンセンヌは確かに歴史ある学校ですが、それはそれ。バンセンヌの今を作り出しているのは今の生徒たちですから。であれば、生徒の総意が望む先へと進むことが結局は正しいのだと思います。
See, I'd misunderstood her again. It had nothing to do with her grandmother's influence. Marika was righteous by her very nature. She had presented me with a similar comment. Are you a righteous man, or are you the viper in the garden? A righteous person, one who is just and who aspires to righteousness. I think I get why you were elected student council president, Marika. Popularity contest aspect has a lot of influence. But I'm sure that isn't all. As I thought, someone suited for that position has to be righteous. I believe the will of everyone who chose you to be the student council president really is righteous. As she got off the bus, Marika looked comfortably at the sky. It was clear skies again today, perfect weather for an outing. Whoops. There were quite a few people walking around the bus stop, but only the air around Marika seemed vibrant. No, really. She looked like the fucking second coming of Christ with all that light around her. She seriously is beautiful. If there were anyone like her walking around the area, I did think it would be seriously intimidating. Do you come to this area during vacations too, Marika?
そうですね。割と。
A somewhat unexpected reply. I figured you wouldn't leave her house much. Do you go clothes shopping and stuff then?
服
You don't? There's some relatively fancy boutiques in the shopping district.
ああ。そうですね。服を買いに来ることもあります。
Does she go karaoke alone? That would be kind of sad. As well? I kept quiet and let it pass, thinking it would be odd to quibble about something so minor. Her outfit is really stylish.
ありがとう。そんな風に言ってもらえると嬉しいものですね。
Seeing you in your street clothes is kind of refreshing. I only caught a glimpse of you for a second the first time around. And it was dark last night.
最初の時。あの時もごめんなさい。
Not at all.
下着姿で部屋を追い出してしまって、あの時はそれが正しいことだと考えましたが。
Okay, I'll have to comment about that. What is righteous about just chasing somebody out of his room, out of his own room in underwear?
結局それも独りよがりな正義だったのでしょうね。
However, Marika had already calmed everyone down for me by the time I returned to the dorm. She ultimately had faith, so what she did was an entirely different level from mere malice. You apologized to me, so I have nothing left to say about it. Shall we?
はい。
Let's see, I wonder which way that gallery is. I looked down at the map I'd printed out from the gallery's homepage. Oh, this is the wrong way. Hey, it was then that I noticed Marika was gone. Marika, not that way.
ごめんなさい。私ったらついうっかり。
Since Marika liked calligraphy, it was possible she had been to the gallery plenty of times before. Still, that's definitely the wrong way. It should be the right way based on the map, too. I assumed she was just being scatterbrained again and spoke up. It's this way, let's go. Speaking of the venue, even though it was Sunday, it was terribly deserted. The exhibition was primarily made up of ordinary citizens this time around, so there weren't any famous calligraphers featured. That was likely the reason for the small turnout. Boring. I was careful not to let how I really felt show on my face. If I were to do that after inviting her out on a date, she would be stunned with me. I'm sure people who are into this sort of thing can tell the quality at a glance.
そうでしょうね。
Like both of them are just there. Boring! But if I say it, the person I'm with is gonna be disillusioned. Can't you tell, Marika?
私などはそんな。
Her response didn't make sense to me, but I'm sure she was just being modest. You're all fucking idiots! This is also amazing. It all looks like squiggles from a worm to me. Oops. I shut myself up. This was a gathering of people who like calligraphy, so I should refrain from saying anything rude.
そうですね。確かに。
Huh?
まあ、あくまで趣味の範疇ですし、そう、プロならまた違うのかな、という気もするわけですが。
It's a very harsh opinion. Maybe that's just how you got when you liked something. In the end, we left the gallery after about an hour. Oh, this is bad. Marika must not have cared for the amateur calligraphy and looked really upset. If she was that bored on our very first date, then chances of us becoming close in the future were pretty slim. I'm sorry. I guess going to a proper professional exhibition would have been better. I was too easy going and decided that it was free, so I thought it might be passable.
違うんです。私こそ、ごめんなさい。
She suddenly bowed her head deeply and then said that, still in the same pose.
私、つい、嘘をついてしまって。
Lied?
私、本当は書道など、何の知識もないばかりか好きでもなくて。
Well, I fucked up then! Huh? I was stunned by her sudden confession. But now, please lift your head. How did all this happen?
なんだか気恥ずかしくて、あの場ではどうしても言えなかったのですが。
Embarrassed.
私の本当の趣味です。カラオケなんです。
I accidentally cut her off there. And I know we returned to the station. I'm a little relieved. I thought for sure our date was a total flop. I was right. I'd only ever used the word date in my head. I never said anything about it to Marika. That's how I intended it in my mind. There's no deeper meaning to it. I just wanted to get to know you better.
私のことを
Yeah, we've never had a chance to sit down and talk, so...
そのためにマサヤ君は私の好みを聞いてくれたというのにつまらない嘘をついた
She is way too harsh on herself, by God!
本当にごめんなさい
It's alright. I've been nothing but apologies all around today. In the end, I was able to learn what you like to do. By the way, what about karaage?
唐揚げも好きです
I see. I like it too. Although that didn't seem all that important. Although that didn't seem at all important, it did feel like we had gotten a bit closer.
本当は
Whoops.
休みの間よく駅に来るのもカラオケが目的で
Oh, you do?
さっきギャラリーに行く前も自然と足が向いてしまったんですいつものルートだったので
It means she probably went there fairly often. But I got a hobby she was enthusiastic about, but even Mitsuki didn't know.
着きました人と来るのは初めてです
Like I said, that is sad.
マサヤ
Then again, then again, so would be Kiryu for my playthrough, because by God, he went karaoke on his own so fucking often. Oh, yes? Oh well, better save that topic for later.
瞳の奥マブルの空に溶け出す春風
Isn't this like the actual opening? Oh! She was good! I would watch musical programs every now and again, but I thought she was much better than the artists who appeared on them. While I'm at it, her looks and figure are much nicer to look at too. It felt like a concert just for me. I would totally pay to see this if I had to.
雪の魔法で笑顔あげるよずっとねリンドンリン鐘が鳴る
To top it all off, Marika was really into it. It was a striking difference from how calm she ordinarily was. When the song ended, I gave a roaring round of applause. Wow, you're great at this, Marika!
嬉しいです誰かの前で歌うのなんて初めてでしたが
You've always come here alone?
ええあ、次はマサヤくんがどうぞ
Oh, nah, I'm good.
でも
I'm not being modest or anything. I was hoping to hear you sing some more. Of course, I'll switch with you if you're tired, but you've got a lot more where that came from, don't you?
それはもう普段は5時間くらい歌い通しです
What? That's amazing. After selecting the next song, Marika said,
最初は受付の人にキーな目で見られたものでした
Yeah, karaoke is generally a group activity.
そうなんでしょうね。
The employee also may have been surprised to see someone as beautiful as her taking part in what was usually a group activity alone. Maybe it was biased of me to consider it lonely.
でも今ではすっかり常連です。夏と冬くらいしか来られませんが。
So the receptionist must be used to it by now. The next song began.
好きよ好きよ好き大好き。私のお兄ちゃん。今よ二人手をつないでさ。早く行こうよパラダイス。
I don't like this one! Because if I remember correctly, hold the fucking phone, hold up! Let's bring this up here, Moonstone VN database. There we go. Because other games they've done are... There's another series they've done, if I remember correctly. That yes, there it is! Emoto Paradise! The game I will never ever play because every single character is a little sister. And the thing is, in the next game, Emoto Paradise 2, somebody told me that apparently, like, I think it was Tate. It was one of the admins or mods from the Discord server. Yeah, it was one of the mods. Someone we actually kind of pissed him off, and we are currently trying to get him back. So if he's watching this, please come back. We need you. Anyway, so yeah, basically, and in the second game, you play the kids of the main character and his sister from the first game, and that was once again the case in the third game. Yes, it somehow has 3 games. And by God, I do not want to even see like I don't want to see visuals for those first 3 already, but I definitely don't want to see visuals for the 4th one, because by God, they gotta be deformed at this point. Like, Jesus. Hold on, sex open world, yokoso, what? Thanks to an accident, our protagonist, Sejima Seiya, awakes to find himself in a parallel world, or in the parallel world of Rolantide. In the land of Rolantide, there's an ancient legend which has been long held by the people. From a hero who arrived on a parallel world shall come the seed which will end the era of war. There's no doubt that the seed spoken thereof is that of our protagonist. What am I, a stud horse? The hero thinks to himself. Yet, even be that as it may, our protagonist can't help but want to do it. And besides, to become the father of heroes is to become the king of the world. And so it goes. Led by the legend, beautiful women from all over the world begin to converge in order to claim our protagonist's seed. Maybe these heroines secretly desire to unite the world under their country's banner. Or maybe they just want to have sex with the hero. Our main character's days of being exploited by beautiful women begins now. What the fuck is this?! Like I heard that Moonstone is, let's say, relatively hit or miss when it comes to their visual novels. Like, if it's good, if it's good. But otherwise, it's just jack shit. Like, that's what I was told. And anyways, I'm guessing she's currently seeing the opening from one of the Emoto games? Probably, actually, it's clearly Emoto Paradise 1, since, Princess Evangile with Happiness came out before Emoto Paradise, so it's kind of impossible for it to be the opening for the second game. I've been talking about this way too long. Baseline is fuck Emoto Paradise. Anyways, she really is great. Listening to her sing was fun all on its own, but watching her acting so lively close like this was thrilling in and of itself. This is how dates should be. Well, it's hard to believe the difference between the mood here and back at the gallery. 3 hours had passed and an embarrassed Marika asked.
お腹、空きませんか?
Oh, yeah, now that you mention it. It was way past lunchtime and I felt like my hunger had completely slipped my mind. Why don't we head out?
はい。ただ、
Yeah?
結局、まさやくんは一曲も歌っていません。一曲くらい歌いましょうよ。
Sure, why not? Marika's eyes sparkled as the prelude started.
私もこの歌知っています。ちょうど男女のユニットですし。まさやくん、一緒に歌いましょう。一緒に。
Oh, yeah. It made me happy that she was being unusually proactive. We kept singing as a duet for another hour after that. It was free time, so it didn't cost any extra. The one-man concert was fun, but singing together was even more fun.
もうお腹がペコペコです。
Me too.
あら、やだ。
Wanna have lunch at Papatori Moon Rock?
いいですね。
After we placed our order, I asked Marika, "Are you keeping the fact that you do karaoke a secret from everyone?"
そうですね。少なくとも自分からは言ったことがありません。
I was kind of surprised too. It didn't match my impression of you in the slightest. But now that I think about it, the impression I had of you was basically just something I came up with all on my own. I came up with that second part as if I was saying it, so I ended up mumbling it out. Mitsuki didn't know either. Does that mean you had your guard up quite a bit?
いいえ、多分そういうことではないかと。隠していたこと自体は否定しませんが。
Meaning?
私の一面は、まさやくんもご存知ですよね。
Yes, paying way too much attention to that bullcrap! I nodded.
ラトゥとスールは、誰か特定の一人と仲良くすることは許されません。みんなのお姉様ですからね。ただ、こう言うと口はばったいようですが、私は早い段階から将来の生徒会長と目されていました。
I nodded. It wasn't bragging or anything of the sort, just a simple fact. In addition to her appealing personality, appearance, and intelligence, she was also branded as a member of one of the families serving on the board of directors. It was inconceivable for anyone but Marika to be student council president. I could sense that myself, even though I had only been enrolled a few months.
そのせいかとも思うのですが、私は前期の頃から少し浮いた存在で。
They're both extraordinarily beautiful and intelligent. The titles are also top-notch. When you get to be that way, people inevitably become withdrawn and have trouble approaching you.
趣味の話をするようなこともしませんでした。
That's how it was for you.
趣味のことだけではありません。誰も私のことを知ろうとはしなかったのです。ラトゥとスールとは言ってしまえばイコンです。
Hierogram. I learned this in class, but hierograms were religious symbols or icons, like portraits of martyrs such as Jesus or the Virgin Mary. They could be seen as the Eastern Orthodox Church, but the genuine articles didn't exist. They could be seen at the Eastern Orthodox Church, but the genuine articles didn't exist at Vincennes.
要するに、仰ぎ見ては崇敬するようなものなのですね。
She showed a lonely smile.
だから、妙義マリカという一個人と触れようというような人はいませんでした。前期から入学した人であれば、当然のように番宣ヌの不分率に従います。一方、うかつに話しかけようものなら、白眼視されるのは必死ですから。
Maybe the fact they looked down on me wasn't simply because I was a boy. For example, when even Gio was treated as a tourist, so they may have thought, who does this simple exchange student think he is about me?
もちろん、私から交流を持てばよかったのです。私こそ、番宣ヌに首まで使っていました。結局のところ、私も望まれる姿を演じてきた。 それは間違いのないところです。
Like, it is too much if a role is supposed to basically describe your character. Like, if your role is supposed to be your entire personality, it's fucking wrong. Like, you should still be feel free to act normally, talk to people. Like, the other titles is more like, feels more like the other titles feel more as if they took your personality into account and took the most fitting thing. Like that's why they don't really have that effect. Like they have a bit of that effect, but not as big as the whole everyone's big sister bullshit. I see. I didn't know. That's why even Mitsuki didn't know about your hobbies. Also, when she told me that, she looked shocked. In the end, I'm sure it's because she realized she had never really tried to get to know the real you. I felt as though I could finally understand her reaction back then.
ただ、事情を尋ねてくれたのは美月だけです。
Your situation? What do you mean?
私が下級生に囲まれ、困った顔をしていることの。でも、もう一人、まさやくんも尋ねてくれたのですよね。
You mean the cafeteria? She nodded.
遊びに行くにあたって好みを聞いてくれたことも同じです。あなたは私と交流してくれている。もっとよく知りたいとも言ってくれて。
I could sense the trust in her eyes and looked away in embarrassment. Well, I am an outsider. I can easily overlook those unwritten rules. I'm sure that's all it is. Although it was true that daring to talk to someone in this beautiful took courage. Our meals were brought out. As I ate, I suddenly felt deeply moved. I was able to reach the real, live Marika, yet again, through our conversation just now. It would be great if I could get to know her even more going forward, just like this. With that thought in mind, I stopped eating and gazed at her. Marika, sometime soon, let's go on another date, okay? I was so overcome with emotion that I didn't think I could eat another bite. Okay, I lied. I actually scarfed down my food. After we ate, we wandered around aimlessly downtown for a while, then headed back to school.
今日はとても楽しかったです。まさやくん、誘ってくれてありがとう。
I had fun too.
ただ、まさやくんは前半は退屈してしまったのではないですか？
The first half? You mean the calligraphy exhibition?
あ、いえ、カラオケボックスです。こちらがずっとマイクを握っていたので。
I'm the one who suggested it. To be honest, I had fun just listening to you.
そうですか？
You're a really good singer. Way better than any idol, at least.
あら、そんな。
She acted modest, but also looked a little happy. Marika, are you in the chorus club or something?
いえ、家庭科部に入っていました。生徒会長になって辞めましたが。
You quit? Is it that hectic being the student council president?
いえ、慣例でそういうことになっているんです。
Wow, it's customary?
特定の部に所属していることは、そこに肩入れしていることに他ならないからと。それでは、生徒会長の平等性に反しますから。
That sounds harsh, disregarding your personal interests. Perhaps that was the meaning of what Marika had said earlier.
そうした装いこそが、ラトゥトスールの本質と言ってもいいのかもしれません。
By the way, what sort of things do they do in the Home Economics Club? I changed the subject. Conversation would likely turn depressing if we kept this up.
お菓子を作ったり、料理をしたり、あとはお裁縫やアクセサリーを作ってみたり、そんなところです。
Surprisingly simple, huh?
家庭科部ですからね。
I guess you had a point. I likely got the impression that it was simple due to the difference between it and how glamorous Marika was. When I imagined Marika wearing an apron and cooking. Yeah, it was a nice image. Sounds nice though. Being able to cook really is great. You can't cook, probably. Marika, are you going to be returning home for the entire summer vacation?
ええ、その、まさやくんはどうするんですか？
Me? I'll be at the dorms the whole time. My home situation is kinda sketchy.
そうですか。では、私は一旦帰省しますが、ずっとではありません。
You will? I spoke up in a lively tone without meaning to. I thought for sure that I wouldn't get to see her all vacation, so it made me really happy to hear that. Hold on, let me redo that then. You will? Once you get back, we'll go out and have some fun again. The sun was already setting by the time we returned. Honest to God, they should make up a date for when to, like, time and place for when to meet already. So, basically on the day she returns, she's not gonna, not even on the day she returns, like, while she's still, like, technically at home, he's gonna go out under the guise of, I have to check the apartment, since I am still technically renting it, so need to make sure to give it a once over and all that. And then just meet outside. They could literally just do that. The sun was already setting by the time we returned.
表情を引き締めないと。
Marika was practically massaging her cheeks with both hands. Huh?
出かけるとき、まさやくんが言っていたことですよ。私たちは叱られるために外出したのですから。
Ah, that's right. I talked to my cheeks. Could tell since I didn't have a mirror, but mine had definitely been relaxed since earlier. Okay, let's try as hard as we can to make some scary faces. When we made it to the dorm, I finally couldn't take it anymore and burst out laughing. Marika's shoulders were even shaking. We made it through the gate with our best austere faces on, but astoundingly, we then happened to run into the headmistress. She looked straight at us and said, "Learn from this and behave from now on," although she only directed it at me. Owning in my laughter at that point was seriously tough. It looks like my prediction was spot on.
笑ってはいけないのに、笑いが止まりません。
Marika pressed the pad of her fingers against the edge of her eyes. I had never seen Marika laughing so heartily before. At that moment I had a sudden thought. I'll get to see lots more of Marika's expressions from now on. Was what ran through my head. Pew pew. Yeehaw. I don't know why I'm doing that. The closing ceremony, actually, yeah, the summer break is still coming. Mitsuki's point of view. That day, Marika had summoned her, so she headed to the student council room.
ごきげんよう。ごきげんよう。何か私に相談したいことがあるとか。そこに座って。
When Mitsuki saw her email, she doubted her eyes. She thought La toute sœur wants advice from me. However, this might just be who she really was. If we were to strip away Marika's guise as student council president for a moment, she and Mitsuki were the same age. So that means either Mitsuki was held back once, or Marika skipped grades once. Or their birthdays are, like, let's say, like half a year apart.
でも、美月がいてくれて助かったわ。相談事なんて、あなたにしかできないもの。光栄です。それでね、内容なのだけど。
Marika blushed and looked away. That was all it took for her to get the hint.
私、やっぱりまさやくんに惹かれているみたいで。やっぱり。でも、まさやくんの方は誰が好きなのかしら。やっぱり、リセかしら。それとも、幼馴染の
地方
Tamiya. I mean, we all know that this route is Marika, but there's always gonna be Tamiya is always gonna be deep in his heart.
さあ、それはどうでしょうか。
美月も知りませんか？
はい。まさやさん、今までのところ、誰かと特別に親しいということはないようですし。
そう。少しほっとしたけれど。でも、いずれにしろ、まずは私の気持ちをどうやって伝えていくかが先決なのでしょうか。いきなり告白というのも、少々請求な気がして。
かもしれないですね。
アプローチと先日あなたは言っていましたが、確かにその必要はあるように思います。そこで、相談なのですが。
はい。
アプローチって、どうすればいいのでしょう。
No idea! Mitsuki opened and closed her mouth, unsure of how to answer before ultimately shaking her head.
すみません。私も、経験がないので。
いいえ、謝らないでちょうだいな。私の方こそ、無神経な質問でした。
ただ、一つだけ言えることは、なるべくこっそりやった方がいいということです。
こっそり？
もしもみんなに知られたら、きっと反発がすごいと思うので。
そうですね。言われてみれば確かにその通り。当然注意して叱るべきなのに、その発想があまりありませんでした。デートの時も。
デート？念のため伺いますが、それはまさやさんとということですよね。
Oh, the CG over on the right hand side changed to Tama during the after the closing ceremony, after the graduation ceremony for Ren over in The Demons Not in Love With Me. As she tears up over from her short route. Like I said, I still cannot wait for the Demons Not in Love With Me, Sugoi Ichi. The thing is, Sekai Project better fucking bring it. Like, they've already announced that they're gonna do it. If they're not gonna fucking do it, I'm gonna find out where the fucking headquarters are. By God, they're not gonna like what I'm gonna do. Marika nodded.
正直言って少し驚きました。でもそれは、まさやさんからのアプローチなんでしょうね。
そう捉えていいのでしょうか。
Marika asked, sounding unconfident.
まさやくんも、私を意識していると捉えても。
いいと思いますよ、きっと。
周囲のことが意識から消えていたのは、きっと生徒会長という立場を離れての行動だったからなのでしょうね。あくまで私の個人的な行動です。ただ、周りは。
そうは見ないでしょうね、きっと。
After having that thought finished, Marika nodded deeply.
私、今度の夏休みは途中で学校に戻ってくるつもりなの。まさやくんにアプローチをしようと思って。
具体的な方法は正直よくわからないのですが、ただ一般論としては相手が喜ぶことをしてあげればいいのではないでしょうか。
Oh, I wonder what he would do. He did happen to mention that being able to cook is rather nice. Conquer the man by conquering his stomach is what I'm trying to say.
相手が喜ぶこと？なるほど。
語の定義から言っても相手は悪い気はしません。そのうち二人の仲も深まって告白にふさわしい雰囲気も高まってく。 そんな気がします。
わかりました。ありがとう、みつき。私、夏休みはその線で頑張ってみるわ。
はい。
Once the closing ceremony ended, our summer vacation officially began. But Zen sure hands out a lot of summer homework. I stared at the pile of printouts on my desk and sighed. This looked like it would be tough. Would be rough. Come in! Ah, Marika!
ごきげんよう。ちょっとよろしいでしょうか。
Of course I do. Come in, come in.
こうしてここを訪れるのは2回目。いえ、3回目ですか。
Though the second time was kind of fucking scary. The first time was when she came here to search my room. The second was when she became mentally unstable. That definitely wasn't a pleasant topic, so I decided to crack a joke. I can assure you that there aren't any porn magazines in here. She blushed. That was not a very good thing to light the mood.
男の子はやはりそういうのを喜ぶのでしょうか。
Huh? I meant that as a joke, but instead I just dug myself into a hole. Even though the air conditioner was running, in that instant I started to sweat.
私はそうしたことをよく知らないのですが。
Well, generally speaking?
私の質問の仕方が悪かったですね。
Huh?
私が知りたいのは男の子のことではなく、あなたのことなのです。
He never had the fucking money for porn max, probably. Unless his old man decided, you know what, I need some fun tonight. Her sudden remark left me lost for words.
まさやくんも聞いてくれましたよね。私のことを。
I don't know why I'm hitting myself with this bottle of iced tea. Also, yes, he wanted to know your hobbies, like what kind of food you like. What you like to do in your free time? Oh, you like karaoke? That's nice. Your first question to get to know him better. Yo, do you like porn? What? What?
それでどうなんでしょう。
She took a step closer. It appeared she really meant what she was asking. I'm really on the spot here. Although, maybe it wasn't something worth panicking so much over. Marika was raised at Vincennes, so it may not have made sense to her, but it wasn't all that strange. That on I decided to speak honestly. Well, I don't dislike it. Not saying I loved it was a pretense. I am a guy, after all. Followed up with that comment.
そういうものなのでしょうね。
We do all have libidos. And is she just gonna gift him a fucking porn bag? Seeing her calming nod was a bit of a relief.
わかりました。では、まさやくんはエッチなことを喜ぶ？
Could you not note it down as such? She literally wrote that down.
他にはどんなことを嬉しいと思いますか？
You know, could we talk about the earlier thing? Huh?
具体的に言うと、私に何をされたらまさやくんは喜びますでしょうか？
She certainly is aggressive about that. What the extra question was this? What do you mean?
駆け引きや腹芸などはできそうもないので、この際はっきり言ってしまいますが、アプローチです。
Move.
そしてお互いを知っていくことができたら、私嬉しく思うのですが。
Sure. Making you move! Could this be the confession? And how that would be considered jumping to one conclusion? My expression even says much. Marika was conscious of me too. I could at least tell that much. Well, there are lots of things you could do that will make me happy.
例えば?
Personal space for now. Another step. Mariko's inching closer to me. Let's see. Oh, I know, you could cook me something? I remember the conversation we had about clubs before. If you made a homemade meal just for me, it would make me so happy I might dance.
料理ですね。わかりました。他には?
What else? I let out everything else I could come up with. Part of me felt apprehensive as I spoke, wondering if listing off so many different things was being kind of shameless, but after giving an excuse, Marika seemed pretty enthusiastic herself. And the way I couldn't deny that having someone so beautiful say they were making their move had gotten me curious, ridiculously excited.
わかりました。どうもありがとう。
Holding her notepad, now filled to the brim with tiny letters, Marika smiled. There's no way she's gonna do all those things, right? I really had given her an assortment of ideas, and I would just sit there unable to think of anything. I'm not good at that kind of stuff.
私は今月の末頃には戻ってくる予定です。
Did I read this? I really had given her an assortment of ideas. There we go, now I have read it. For certain. Got it. I will be waiting.
そういえば、私が規制を切り上げることは、みんなには黙っておいてください。もしかしたら、騒ぎになってしまうかもしれないので。
Got it. Does that mean you normally stay home the entire time?
ええ、普段は。今年は、もし理由を聞かれたら、こう答えるつもりです。男子の存在があるから、番宣での様子を見守るため、と。みんなきっと疑うことはないと思いますよ。
What's the real reason then?
本当の理由、それが、まさやくんが当ててみてください。
If it's just to see me, then that would make me really happy. She laughed and ultimately never answered, but I was convinced.
それでは、私はこれで、これから実家に帰ります。
Yes. See you later.
はい、ごきげんよう。
Alone once more, I was overcome with emotion all over again. Marika was coming back early just to see me. I'm so happy. The feelings had weight. I bet my body would go straight to the fucking floor and sink into the ground. I was crushed by the overwhelming joy and rolled around on the floor. Then I proceeded to knock my head against the corner of the table and, bleed out. What made me happiest of all was that she made her move. I made all sorts of requests, but if she actually did even a tenth of them, I felt like I'd gone to heaven. Maybe Marika is the devoted type. I thought it made me smork. It made me smork, and what would prove that was a misunderstanding was a conversation soon to come. Why am I scared? Hold on, what the fuck was that? Why was the 21st to 31st there? Yeah, that was kind of weird. Marika returned on the 27th, but lunch that day turned into a bit of a commotion. It likely would have been an even bigger mess if there were the usual number of people present.
ちょっとびっくりしたわね。マリカって私みたいに規制を途中で切り上げたことはなかったはずだし。
Marika was the topic of the day on our way back from the cafeteria. It's apparently so that she can keep watch over the academy, because I'm here, a boy.
よく知ってるわね。
は？
いや、私は初耳だったから。みんなは知ってた？
Risa, Chio, Ritsuko, and Ruriko all shook their heads side to side. Mitsuki, I heard it from her.
まあ、美月とマリカは仲良しだもんね。
At a time like this, I expected Ayaka to interject with some sort of joke. For example, something like this.
まさやくん、なんでそんな情報掴んでるのよ。もしかしてマリカといい関係になってるの？
In fact, you didn't even show an inkling of that, just showed how unlikely everyone had concluded a pairing between Marika and I to be. That makes me kinda sad.
でもマリカ様がいるなら、これから学校が賑やかになりそうで、いいわね。
Huh? Why is that?
だから、規制を早めに切り上げて戻ってくる人も出てくるということよ。
I was impressed. Huh? People actually do that. Even though you only get 2 long-awaited chances a year to actually go home.
いるわよ、それは。
These are declared. Huh. I see. I had to be wary of everyone's eyes on us, so the fewer people around, the better.
あら、嫌なの？人が少ないと寂しいじゃない。
No, I don't hate it, not at all.
まあ結局実家にいたってしょうがないしね。妖怪くっちゃねになるだけだし。
それは姉さんだけです。
Schools issued cell phones were similar to walkie-talkies, or at least that's how Risa described them. They may have been inconvenient, but at least they weren't tapped. Since we had to avoid being seen, these cell phones were extremely useful. Last night I got a call from Marika. Sure. Nervously, my hands started shaking. There was no doubt in my mind that Marika's home cooking would be delicious. Any meal made by a beautiful woman will definitely be delicious. Although that was just a male fantasy. Is she gonna suck at cooking? Is that gonna be the joke? Is she gonna be bad at everything she tries to make him happy? Gotcha. I'll skip breakfast too. Take a seat and wait for you. I wasn't kidding. I just showed how much I was looking forward to it. Let me think. I'm not really a picky in general. I have no idea what that is, but by God, it sounds delicious. Oh, that sounds tasty. Yes? Later we shared what generally happened over the vacation. Both she and I had spent the whole time on homework and hadn't done anything especially worth mentioning. By the way, I'm impressed you made it back. Isn't your household pretty strict? I see. When we saw her last, her grandmother had left us with some warm wishes. I wanted to believe that had come from the heart. Back then, your grandmother seemed hopeful that the change would be for the better, right? I'm positive the change you've undergone is all because of me, so I will take responsibility for making sure it's a good change. I went and said something weird. After that, I stuttered through the remainder of the call and ended it at that. I'm not sure of what I may have been saying. Then the next day, I was on standby, sitting and waiting for her. Yes, come in! Is she gonna be some kind of weird yandere in the end? I should stop shaking my icy bottle for those noises. I should really stop. I can't stop. Actually, I won't stop. I'll fucking finish this real quick. Good afternoon. Oh, come on, you couldn't have just let her say something. Marika greeted me with a lunchbox in hand. I'm starved. I really did skip breakfast. Thank you for the food! There was a variety of side dishes lined up on the table. Each and every one looked delicious, but my chopsticks reached for the main dish first. This looks tasty. Huh?
もう忘れてしまったのですか？
I blankly stared at her, my stomach grumbling in the meantime.
では、ちょっと失礼して。
Marika, who had been sitting across from me, propped herself up and moved beside me. Next, she directed her to stop chopsticks with the pork and cod roe sauté sandwich.
はい。まさやくん？
Yes! My heart raced the instant she did that. That intense hunger I had receded in a moment's time. This is the dream, right? Marika was all smiles, holding out her chopsticks to me. There was no time for me to think it over, so I simply said, chomp. Having someone stare at you up close while chewing could really make you nervous. Though I dropped my eyes to the table, I could distinctly feel her gaze drilling straight into my face.
いかがでしょう？
She asked just as I swallowed. Super tasty.
それは良かったです。
I was too nervous to fully discern the flavor, but it was true that it was indeed tasty.
さあ、もっとどうぞ。たくさんありますからね。
Still, I never expected her to really do this. It was true that I said it. It came up near the end of the conversation. Homemade meal would make me happy, but it would make me even happier if it came with a saying option. Just kidding. Of course I'd meant it half-jokingly. It was shameful of me that it was half-serious, though. But I am super happy. It felt like it was tending to my every need. Watching her nearly transparent white hands go back and forth on the table to me was also fun to watch. As I grew used to it, it felt as though my appetite and manly pride were simultaneously satisfied. This is really delicious. Now that I had gotten used to it, I was also starting to get a better handle on the flavor. It's not all spice, and matches the meat really well.
卵黄を混ぜ込んであるんです。味がマイルドになるように。
Oh, that's great. How intricate. She went through all that trouble for me. The very thought seriously made me want to dance. I can't do all the eating. You should eat too, Marika.
いえ、私はいいのです。
Huh? But...
まずは、まさやくんが喜んでくれることが先ですよ。
Sure, I'm already enjoying myself plenty though.
さあ、次は何を食べる？
This then.
はい。
It's the same damn thing. This had to be what being waited on hand and foot felt like. My belly was actually being filled without me making any use of my own chopsticks. Afterwards, Marika was eating alone. This feels kind of weird. It was weird, right? I wasn't sure whether you could call this eating together or not. But yeah, I guess it's fine. I was satisfied with the joy of a full stomach, so putting thought into all of that was a bother. Might be able to say this was obvious, but Marika ate in a very refined manner. Simply watching her do so was a happy occurrence for me. Reading this sort of makes us seem like husband and wife.
私も同じことを思っていました。
Is Masa gonna turn into a lazy fuck? I don't know why, but I just remember this one design I saw in a video of like a gun. Like if you like missed the shot, or if the enemy got too close, you could literally grab the barrel, pull it out of the fucking gun stock, and there was a fucking blade at the end. Anyways, I was just trying to make a joke, but her sincere reply made my heart race. Sip, sip. I took a drink of tea to cover up that I was blushing. I'm sure you actually would make a good wife, considering how good at cooking you are. I figured going quiet now would be questionable, so I deliberately kept the subject going.
家庭科部を選んだことの理由の一つはそのことだったんです。
Like training to be a bride?
はい。掃除や洗濯などは寮生活の中で自然と身につきますが、料理はそうもいきませんから。
Oops. When Sen served delicious meals 3 times a day, I was grateful for that more than anything when I enrolled.
料理やお裁縫。もっとも今の時代、 お裁縫はあまりすることもないかもしれませんが。
Still, reattaching buttons that come off and other tiny things like that do happen. It's definitely not a bad thing, knowing how to use a needle and thread.
私自身、そうしたことは嫌いではなく、部活動もとても楽しいものでしたが、思えば、花嫁修行ということも、祖母に言われて始めたのでした。誰の花嫁になるというのか、それも自分では知らないままでしたが。
But I think it's wonderful that you make such delicious meals, seriously. And I'm going to go ahead and change the fucking background because it's depression again! Why do you do this to me? There we go, it's now Arl's background you get when you beat her route, instead of fucking CG from New Crow Route's ending. Anyways.
ありがとう。そう言ってもらえると、私の修行も意味があったのだと思います。
After Marika finished eating, I once again gave her my impressions and thanks. Seriously, was delicious. Please, let me have that again sometime, okay?
もちろんです。
On a date or something, maybe? I bet it would be a lot more comfortable if we were to spread out our lunch boxes outside next time around.
それもいいですね。
I was satisfied that I'd been able to ask her out properly. It would be great if we could deepen our relationship step by step like this. It's safe. I waved her over after checking outside. Really enjoyed the meal today. Thank you so much.
いいえ、お粗末様でした。それではごきげんよう。
Bye-bye. I forgot at this point he should have just said like, so, next time I'll try to do something to make you happy or something like that. Basically just like she makes him happy, he's just gonna reciprocate it by making her happy. That would have been a nice notion. Getting to eat a delicious lunch and having Marika feed me made me as happy as can be, leaving nothing else in particular on my mind. But starting the next day, Marika started putting one thing after another from the aforementioned list in practice, and the uneasy feeling I had was growing stronger. Huh? Are you sure about going this far from me? I was happy, but the sense of confusion was constantly bubbling up inside me. And, like ink becoming runny in water, that confusion was spreading. Although I was partially joking, I was the one who said it, so I shouldn't have any reason to complain. But for example, this happened. Oh! This is I would start feeling bad.
まさやくん、動いてはダメですよ。
Sure.
くすぐったいですか?
That doesn't tickle, but these things were made to sleep on. I bet not even the highest quality pillows could compete. These thighs were made to sleep on. It was somewhat uncomfortable or unfortunate her legs weren't bare, but the silky texture of her stockings were strangely comfortable. Her stomach was against the back of my head. Just the thought made my heart pound profusely. Couldn't get enough of her sweet aroma engulfing my face. Oh crap, I'm gonna get a boner! That made me fidget like crazy earlier.
あら、まさやくん、ちゃんと耳の掃除をしないといけませんよ。
Sorry.
でも、掃除のしがいがあるというものです。では、じっとしていてくださいな。
Okay. She stuck the ear pick into my ear.
私も初めてで、うまくできるかどうかわかりませんが。
This is worrying. She used a thoroughly soft touch. There was no pain to speak of. Honest God, I personally like for the list of what makes me happy. Honest God, I would just say spend time with me and maybe make me lunch every now and again. Like, I would love to try that, and just spend time with you is bliss enough for me personally. I just say something like that, just listing off a giant list of things you want her to do, just like sure she personally doesn't seem to mind, but what's it gonna look like to others? They're gonna think you're like using her, basically, if they find out.
痛くありませんか?
I'm fine. Oh, this Feels nice. I knew having someone do this for you would feel so good. I could totally get used to this. I quickly grew accustomed to this situation and stimulation, but that uneasy feeling from before reared its head once more. It's really okay for her to go this far for me. I was pretty sure this isn't something people would do unless they were lovers. We definitely weren't lovers. Yet. We hadn't even confessed our feelings yet. Is this Marika's way of making her move? It feels a little overboard to me. I was the one who asked for this. So what was I saying? Part of me did feel that way.
だいたい綺麗になりました。
Thank you. Tried to get up, but that moment? What?
驚きました。こうするのが早いかと思ったのですが。
Oh, no, that's not really it.
では続けますね。
But this is... Some unfamiliar pressure made me scratch at the floor. I got chills down my spine as a lukewarm breath blew into my ear. But, wow, this feels great. Oh crap! In a panic I closed my legs, but it was too late. There was no point in taking that action from the very beginning. Do we actually see? No, we don't actually see it.
綺麗になりました。では、反対の耳はまさやくん
I can't stand up. After some quick thinking, I rotated my head, like making a circle on a fulcrum. By making that 100-degree turn, I was now facing her stomach, but I successfully managed to turn over.
そういうことまさやくん、面白いことをするんですね。
I'm surprisingly lazy. Help! She probably thinks I'm weird after that stunt. This was a rare occasion for me, but I continued worrying about it even though it was already over. When Marika left my room, I made sure to check the hallway for her first. In order to do that, I obviously had to stand up and move, so I acted natural and casually covered my crotch with my hands. Actually, did you notice? I had no idea how perceptive she was of my hands, though. My face felt like it was on fire from embarrassment. Still, it really is kind of strange. I sat on the bed and let out a sigh. I mean, obviously I was happy she went to the trouble of cleaning my ears. The fact that secretly got me fired up down below was no excuse. After all, I was the one who asked her to do it. But I just couldn't shake this uncomfortable feeling I had. Like, I'm not enjoying where this round is going right now. Did she need to go to such lengths to make her move? The students at Vincent were ignorant of how the world really worked in certain ways. Maybe the same could be said for Marika, quite fucking obviously. Or maybe it wasn't it. Marika went even further and did this for me. Yeah, this is way too far. This is way too far. Butt crack.
バスタオルというのはさすがに恥ずかしかったのですが、あなたのリクエストですから。
Thank you. Felt like my heart was going to fly out of my mouth. Fly up and out of my mouth, so I couldn't even speak properly now. A half-naked man and woman alone together in a tiny bathroom. Wasn't that whole situation ridiculously wrong? It fucking was, you absolute fucking troglodyte! She must have been nervous. Marika and I were both completely silent. When the sponge hit my back, it felt a bit cool, like because my body felt so burning hot. I told her about the scar on my back in advance. She didn't say much of anything about it. Scrub, scrub. Only the sounds of the sponge scrubbing against my skin filled the room. Thank goodness I didn't hand on anything. But doing this with bare hands. So the part of my body was already in a state of total chaos as it was.
くすぐったいですか？
Huh?
背中がだんだん猫背のような感じになっているので。
At this point, I was wishing for nothing more than for this scenario to hurry up and end. Even though I should be happy, even though I asked for it, and Marika was just faithfully fulfilling my requests. Why did I start thinking this way? Start to think this way? Because you're fucking feeling guilty because you're not doing anything for her. Summer camp. Summer training camp, I mean. As days like those passed, the summer training camp finally arrived. It was an event where everyone swam at a lake up in the mountains. Marika passed on it since she wasn't a great swimmer, but I decided to participate. It is a little unsatisfying Marika isn't here. But I guess thinking things over myself isn't so bad once in a while. Since she had come back, I was able to spend practically every day with her. It went without saying that I was enjoying my time with her. But when we were face to face, I could forget all about that uncomfortable feeling I had, so I wanted to take this opportunity to figure out what it was for sure.
なんだか元気がないのね。こういうイベント、お嫌い？
No, it's not that. I'm totally enjoying it.
そう、ならいいのだけど。でもマサヤさんはちょっと残念よね。仕事を押し付けられてしまって。
I was put on lifeguard duty. The teacher normally assigned to the task was bedridden with a cold, so I was their substitute. I guess, although riding in the boat it does sound fun. The lodge was about a 30-minute walk from campus. After approximately an hour for recess, the swimming finally began.
マサヤくん、今日は静かなんですね。私といるのは退屈？
Oh, believe me, my dear, I could never be bored with you. No, it's not like that at all.
冗談です。何か思い悩んでいる様子ですが、それとももしかして私のことで悩んでいるのでしょうか。
Well, yes, I'm trying to think of how to woo you. No, that's not it.
そうやって断言されると寂しいものがあるのですが。
I really like Sister Mishima. What a complicated teacher.
まあ、それはそれとして。何か悩み事でも？
I gave an honest nod, thinking there was no point in hiding it.
ズバリ、恋の悩みでしょうか。
You are very perceptive.
ここでクイズです。私はなぜ何のヒントもなしに言い当てられたのでしょう。
As a result of life experience.
あら、やだ。マサヤくんたら。
Oh, he fucked up. He fucked up. Ow, ow. She suddenly pinched my thigh.
私、みんなとそんなに人生の長さに差はありませんよ。
Sure.
いいえ、本当にね。
I understand. Naturally, I'm forced to smile.
では、なぜだと思いますか？正解は、マサヤくんの年頃であれば、悩みと言ったら、恋か友情か、それとも何かのコンプレックスか。
How about that one time he had to worry about the fucking mob?
だいたい、その3つでカバーできてしまうからです。
I see.
いいですよね。青春って。これが年を取ると、シワができたり、表裏の母親が死ぬ前に孫と会わせろと言ってきたりで。
Oh, believe me, I can help you with that. That sounds rough.
今のは忘れてください。
Wasn't this what you would call life experience?
でも、マサヤくん、誰が好きなんですか？やはり、白百合会の誰かでしょうか？
I shook my head and think it might be okay to tell the sister. I'd appreciate it if you would keep this from the others. But I've fallen for Marika.
あら、まあ。
Is that surprising?
そうですね。ただ、マリカは学園一の人気者です。そういう意味では気になって当然のようにも思います。私もマリカのことは幼い頃から見てきましたが、とはいえ、年はそんなに違いませんが。
You're from Vincent too, aren't you, sister?
そうそう、そういうことです。マサヤくん、 冴えてる？
This is kind of open-minded.
それで、マリカは私の中では気になる生徒の一人でした。もちろん、エゴひいきするというのではないのですが。
Really? What is it about her that worries you?
先日、妙義様が学校にいらっしゃいましたね。
Oh, yes.
バンセンヌは生徒数も少ないため、生徒一人一人の家庭事情は元より把握しています。
But you had no idea about what the fuck was going on with her.
加えて、妙義家は理事の一角を占めています。気の毒なことに、お母様が創生されたため、今は空席となっていますが。
Your grandmother had mentioned that before. Your mother passed away from an illness, leaving the Myogi family's board of directors slot vacant for a generation. You follow my logic, don't you?
それもあって、妙義家の内情については、本物の身内のように知っているんですが。
Really, there's some sort of issue at her home?
問題というと語弊があるかもしれません。マリカは気の毒なことに
Oops.
お父様も早くに亡くしたのですが。
Let's see. I didn't know that.
祖母と孫の2人だけの家族。おそらくそのせいでしょう。マリカは妙義様の顔色を伺うようなところがありました。
Her well-being.
私にはこんな風に見えました。マリカは自分の祖母を喜ばせることばかりを考えている。
So basically, she's swapped that role from her grandmother to Masaya. My body jerked hard enough to make the boat shake the instant I heard that.
どうかしました？
No, it's nothing. Please continue.
孫が祖母のことを思う。それは悪いことではありません。一般論としては。ただ、そればかりでは。ね。せっかくの青春も色あせてしまうのも正直なところでしょう。だから、マサヤくんが彼女の青春を色鮮やかなものにしてくれるのなら、教師として嬉しく思うんです。
Yeah. I nodded, then groaned out a but. Thus far, I don't think I can really say that I've done much to reinvigorate Marika. We got to know each other better, and I'm happy about that, but I've been feeling strangely uncomfortable too. I haven't been able to put a finger on what that uncomfortable feeling is exactly.
まだ恋人同士というわけではないのでしょう。
I nodded.
であれば、それはこれからの話ですよ。
With that said, she gently petted the same spot she had pinched earlier. The end.
第3話2人の記念
The two's commemoration. There was no real need for me to run, but I felt impatient. I wrote Monica an email and asked her to wait for me at the Rose Garden. Fog that shrouded my heart had dissipated, and to that extent I was completely mentally refreshed. However, a new sense of unease had emerged within me. What if the emotion Monica had for me was something other than love? No, that's not. No way. I was completely convinced of that. Still, I couldn't deny that I felt as though my heart was being pricked by tiny needles. It had been rather hot lately, even at night. By the time I reached the Rose Garden, I was soaked with sweat. Marika!
ごきげんよう。あら、すごい汗。一体どうしたんですか？
Without a word, I continued to breathe haphazardly. I'm sorry?
いいえ。もしかして、上から走ってきたのですか？
Marika retrieved a handkerchief from her pocket and tenderly wiped my forehead. I nodded.
どうしてそんなことを？街灯もなく暗いでしょ？危ないわ。
It was, but I wanted to see you as soon as I could. I wondered how she interpreted that comment. Her cheeks flushed bright red in response. Then she suddenly looked up at the sky.
そうですね。今日は素敵な夜だわ。月が綺麗で。
Indeed, the full shining moon had lit the way for me, but it kind of seemed like an abrupt comment to me. That's an old way of confessing.
告白にはふさわしい夜。
Huh? Confession?
違うのですか？夜に呼び出されたので、私、てっきりそういうことかと。やだ、私ったら、またおっちょこちょいを。今の発言は忘れてくださいな。
Marika? I grabbed both of her shoulders. She looked surprised that I had suddenly touched her, but I stared at her straight on and didn't look away. There's something I want to make sure of. I came here for that reason. I moved over to the table. Given the strange thing I had said, Marika couldn't hide her confusion. She may have been expecting me to confess my feelings for her. I was, of course, happy that she had expected that from me. But first, there was something I had to make clear. Marika, you have done all sorts of things to make me happy, like making me meals, and washing my back. At first, I was genuinely happy. I had a beautiful girl like you waiting upon me hand and foot. That was something I'd never experienced before. No, not only that. She shook my head to continue speaking. I was happy because you were the one doing all that for me. That's the honest truth. But quite frankly, I've had this sort of unpleasant, uneasy feeling in the pit of my stomach.
私、失敗してしまったのでしょうか？まさやくんを喜ばせること、できなかったのでしょうか？
No, that's not it. You made me happy consistently, but midway through I started to wonder something. Marika, why are you going to all this trouble for me?
ですが。
I know, these were all my suggestions, but doesn't accepting absolutely everything I say just because I said it seem a little wrong to you? Sorry, this is just me being selfish, isn't it?
まさやくん、あなたが何を言っているのか、私にはわからない。
I guess this, even if it means pushing yourself. Haven't you been trying to please your grandmother?
おばあさまを。
Just like you've been trying to please me. The whites of her eyes grew huge. No sooner than that did her lips begin to tremble. What in the world was I trying to accomplish? I wondered that to myself even now. I had given Marika quite a shock. Naturally, I wasn't trying to drive her into a corner or hurt her. I couldn't do that to her. But I love you, Marika. I love you as a woman. So I also want you to see me as a man, and if you would love me back, it would make me very, very happy.
私、
Marika, I hear you've been living alone together with your grandmother.
どうしてそのことを？
Sister Mishima told me that it wasn't just your mother, but your dad your also died young. Since she's your one and only relative, you wanted to make her happy. I figured you might feel that way, so I,
まさやくんの言うことは、きっと、合っていると思います。私は確かに、祖母の顔色を常に伺っているようなところがありました。たった二人きりの家族です。祖母は常に正しかったのでした。 あなたと出会う以前は。だから、私は常に祖母の意向というものを考えるようにして。でも、今はそうした関係ではなくなりました。代わって、私の心の中心を占めるようになったのは、まさやくん、あなたです。私は今度は、祖母ではなく、あなたを、仰ぎ見ていたのかもしれない。私の正しさを証明してくれる存在として。
Something told me that was where the uncomfortable feeling I had ultimately originated from. I sincerely doubt that I'm a righteous man. I'm not confident enough to call myself that, nor do I have any firm convictions. I'm not someone worth looking up to.
はい。
But there is one thing I can say with absolute certainty. I love you, Marika. This is my confession of love to you. After finishing my long speech, I took a breath. I looked up at the sky and noticed that the moon I often saw as nothing more than a replacement light source was indeed beautiful.
こんな弱い私ではありますが、私にだって自信を持って言えることはあるんですよ。
The light sprung forth and shone within her eyes.
これは私の気持ちです。私一人の男子として、まさやくん、あなたが好きです。
I stood from my chair and wordlessly pulled Marika into my arms for a tight embrace. In return, Marika hugged me back, as she continued to let out tiny quiet sobs. Somebody seeing this currently, right? Like that's gonna be the problem here. After returning to the dorm, we decided to have some cocoa, thinking it would have less caffeine than black tea. Here you are.
ありがとう。
It wasn't cold out, but having a warm drink really did calm the nerves.
ごめんなさい。
Huh?
さっきはみっともないところを見せてしまって。
Take fucking note. Crying is not a bad thing. Crying is actually a good thing. Like, holding back tears is only going to help make you feel worse. Crying helps you sort out your feelings. It is an effect called catharsis, where catharsis is the act of letting out emotions to prevent them from building up and basically magnifying as time passes. So don't feel fucking ashamed to cry. Just let it all out. It's okay. It's okay to just, like, give yourself some time. Just lie down in bed. Cry for a bit. You'll feel better afterwards. It wasn't unsightly at all. When I said that, Marika smiled with relief. It was surely the first time Marika had ever cried in front of another person. I wasn't the sort of person she had been here at Vincennes.
すごく嬉しくなってしまって。
Hearing her say that gave me joy, and my heart felt all fuzzy.
好きと言ってもらえたことはもちろんですが、私のことをあんなにも分かってくれた人はあなたが初めてですから。
In the end, I'm sure it was a good thing that I wasn't an intruder who came from the outside. That's why I was able to get to know you without getting hung up on you being la toute sœur.
ええ。けれど、最も大事なことは気持ちが伴っていたことだと思います。そんな風に考えるのはずうずうしいでしょうか。
No. After all, I'm not a righteous person. I've never so much as considered anything as presumptuous as saving or leading anyone. Because I love you. Because I care. I want to get involved with you. In the end, that's all this is. Marika readjusted her position to face me, then repeated herself once more.
私、あなたのことが好きです。
Love you too. Please go out with me.
はい。こんな私でよければ。
Marika blushed and let out a fervent sigh. Someone like me? She was so beautiful, gave me chills, had a wonderful disposition, and to top it off, she even racked up some experience in homemaking. Maybe her being so reserved was one of her many virtues. Okay, Marika, I would like to say this up front, but let's keep the fact that we've become lovers a secret from everyone else.
美月には言われました。やはり周りの反発があるでしょうね。
It'll be just until the end of this year. Like, it's not even a case of, oh no, we have to keep it secret because of the grand vote, and after the grand vote, it doesn't fucking matter. Even if he's thrown out, it doesn't fucking matter, since Marika's gonna graduate this year and move on to the girls' college, so she's gonna be out in actually living somewhere. So they could actually potentially move in together, thinking about it. Anyways, I nodded. All it took was for me to speak to you in the cafeteria for everyone to give me death glares. I became your lover. There's no telling what could happen. Most likely I wouldn't be able to stay at this school next year.
そうですね。そういえばその問題もある。
Whether or not I'm here next year, and what shape Vincent takes in the future should be a separate issue. Still, that's only in theory. When it comes to everyone's emotions, something tells me that won't be the case.
少し残念ですね。私たちが恋人同士になったこと、決して悪いことではないのに、隠さないといけないだなんて。
Yeah.
デートなどもしたかったのですが。でも、これまでは何とも思ったことのなかったバンセンヌの規則も厳しく感じられますね。
I suppose we can't keep using the excuse that your grandmother has called to see us.
そういえば私、在学中に男子とお付き合いするようになるなんて夢にも思ったことはなかったんです。恋人同士って何をするものなのでしょうね。
When you put it that way, I had to give it some thought. Guess we would go on dates. Like going to the karaoke box together.
私は好きですが、でもそればかりというのもねえ。
I have no idea either. Why don't you try going to a bunch of other places then? Going on a trip or something could be nice too.
なるほど。
Also?
あとは？
Nothing. I blushed and shook my head. Taking the conversation to pivot a direction out of nowhere would be totally tactless. Marika looked mystified. That reminds me, how much does Marika know about that sort of thing? No matter how much of a high-class girl she was, sure she wasn't completely ignorant, in terms of common knowledge at least. However, this was Vincent, a place isolated from the outside world, something also told me she might not know. Oh well, we can tackle that later. In the end, what I think is most important is whether you're comfortable being together or not.
はい。まさやくん、さっきの話についてなのですが、私がまさやくんに対してあれこれしたこと、それらはすべて義務感に駆られてとか、そういうつもりでしたわけではないんです。確かに今思えば際どい行動もありました。お背中を流したりとか。
I had requested it, so I felt pretty bad for how rash I had been.
でも、それらすべてまさやくんが喜んでくれるなら、私としても。
Maybe Marika was the devoted type after all. It was pretty self-serving, but I did think girls like that would make the best lovers.
そういう感覚、わかりますでしょうか?
I think I do. Otherwise, seeing the person you love smile is a happy thing. That goes for me, too.
だから、 今後とも何かしてほしいことがあったら遠慮なく言ってね。
As long as it isn't anything shameful. Crap, my heart was racing like crazy. To be perfectly blunt, hearing my girlfriend say something like that made me feel incredibly blessed.
私、美月の助言もあって、ああいう行動を重ねることによって告白にふさわしい雰囲気を作ろうと思っていたのですが。
Oh, I get it. That's why she started talking about that's why she started talking about the mood stuff earlier.
自分が思っていた形とはまた違いましたが、まさやくんに告白してもらってとても嬉しく思いました。
Me too. I feel the same.
今後ともよろしくお願いしますね。
I should say the same. Sen was strict about not letting students go outside freely, but it was a different story during summer vacation. As such, we decided to rack up as many dates as we could before it ended. We arranged to meet in front of the station just to be sure to avoid the 1 in a million chance someone from school would see us. To be honest, I thought going to the nearest station would be risky, but Marika assured me that she had something in mind. While the people in Vincennes may not actually go outside to have fun very much, I parked the bike I borrowed from the school and looked around the bus stop. Oh, she isn't here. She was supposed to have left first, but hadn't been waiting for me here. After about 5 minutes passed, a voice called to me.
まさやくん、ごめんなさい、遅くなって。
Ah, Marika. Yes! Yes! This hat is amazing. I love this hat. This hat is great. Can I date the hat instead of you? Okay, that one's a bit much. Ah, Marika. Huh?
びっくりしましたか？
Yeah. Do you usually wear contacts by chance?
いいえ、これは伊達メガネです。多少なりとも変装になるかと思って。
Oh, I get it. Is that what the hat is for too?
ただ、変装という目的があるにしても、帽子はおしゃれの一種ですから。ですので、選んでいるうちに時間が過ぎてしまったんです。遅れてごめんなさいね。
No, it's totally fine. It looks really good on you.
そうですか？
Ah, yes, you look really good on the hat. Like the hat is the main feature here. Like I must stop joking about that now.
では、こんなこともしてしまったりして。
She flashed me a super playful smile and twirled around. Would have thought Marika would do something like that. It was kind of moving. Ooh! Clapped my hands together. She smiled sweetly. Is this what society tended to call lovebirds? Idiot couple. Well, regardless of what those around us thought, what was that? Well, as long as we were having fun. Please wait just a second. I'll go park my bike at the storage rack. Sorry to keep you. Let's get going.
Hi.
I would have been fine with just karaoke or something, but we decided to go to an amusement park at Marika's request.
少し緊張します。
She whispered with a stiff expression as she faced the station. Have you ever been to an amusement park before?
それもありますが、電車に乗ることもめったにないので。
Have you never been to an amusement park before? Oh, I see.
でも、いつまでもこんなことではいけませんね。進学すれば、一人で行動することも多くなるのですから。
Does Vincennes Girls College not have a dormitory system? She shook her head.
だから、日々の行動は、より世間一般のものに近づくのだろうと思います。
I get it. But yeah, setting aside the future for a minute, I grabbed her hand. Try not to be nervous. Of course, I'm nervous myself.
まさやくんも、遊園地は初めてなのですか？
Not too poor! I haven't, no. Would have been nice if I had gone at least once, but my upbringing never allowed for such a luxury. There's that, but also, because we're holding hands.
ではかえって逆効果だわ。私も。
Whoops. But let's keep doing this. We've been looking forward to this for a while now, so holding hands will be more fun. Marika blushed and nodded firmly. She was incredibly beautiful when she acted that way, but... she was incredibly beautiful when she acted that way. It always gave me chills. I'm out on a date, holding hand, with such a beautiful girl. Oh, not only does this make up for all the crappy stuff that happened growing up, but it feels like I'm working up a tab.
Masaya-kun?
Sorry, let's go. She was still acting nervous once we got to the train, but before long she was looking out the window, cheering with awe and acting in high spirits. The childish side of her seemed very adorable to me. After riding the train for about an hour, we reached our destination. After we passed through the Dreamland gates and the buildings came into view, Marika gasped with admiration.
これが遊園地。いいものですね。なんだか立っているだけでワクワクしてくるようです。
You really do.
早速回りましょう。
Yeah. I personally had no idea what sort of attractions they had, so we looked through the guide map we received at the gate together. Marika had looked over the map with determined eyes, but for me, I was too distracted by the sweet scent which had invaded my nose. This is Marika's fragrance. It's pretty nice. I was extremely zoned out, not really looking at the guide map well at all.
よくわからないですね。まさやくんは何かおすすめとかある？まさやくん？
I've never been here before either. Why don't we go? Why don't we go around and look at everything in order? We joined hands and headed for the first attraction. The fact we were lovers did start to feel real to me as we walked through the dreamland together.
まさやくん、今日は少しぼんやりしているようですね。
Oh, sorry.
謝ることはないのですが。
It's just... or this kind of feels like a dream.
夢見心地。
Since I'm on a date with you, Marika. Lifted up our joined hands and grinned, and her lips quickly curled upward into a smile.
私もです。
With a nod, Marika looked towards the attractions.
彼氏と遊園地に来ることになるなんて、本当に夢のよう。この列は何でしょうね。
Must have been popular given how long the line was. This is for Minecart Mountain. According to the guide map, it was a grand adventure up a 10,000 meter high mountain in a minecart. Apparently.
ジェットコースターなんですね。ちょっと怖そうだけど。
Want to give it a shot?
せっかくですから。
Might not be the best. It might be best if you hold on to your hat while we're on the ride, then. It could fly off.
はい。そういえば、メガネも外して問題ないのでしょうか。誰かがいるとも思えないし。
Are the fake glasses bothering you?
いえ、そんなことはないですが。
It's kind of refreshing to see you in glasses. I could say the same for your hat. They look really nice on you.
そう？
She seemed happy by that comment, then quickly pushed up her glasses with her index finger. Index finger? Like, I personally always use the middle finger. But I do have my hand spread out. Unless I have headphones on, then I use, like, my middle and finger and thumb. Push it in a bit, because the resistance is a bit more when I have headphones on. About 30 minutes later, we were finally close to boarding. As we got closer, the rumbling of the ride grew louder, and Marika's face started to go pale. Are you okay? There's no need to force yourself.
いえ、せっかくですからね。
She smiled firmly.
これが私一人であるとか、友人と来たのであれば、やはりパスしたところだと思いますが、 せっかくまさやくんと来たのですから。
Yeah, it is special. We eventually boarded and barreled around the gigantic mountain at top speed in the minecart, but when we came out, Marika was smiling.
最初は恐怖心でいっぱいでしたが、案外楽しいものですね。
I agree, it was definitely worth the wait.
ただ、まだ心臓がドキドキいっています。
Marika said, holding a hand to her ample chest. They're seriously huge. My eyes just happened to wander to that spot. My mind wandered and realized that they must have jiggled around like crazy on the roller coaster. Now it's racing now too.
今ですか?
Well, she looked at me curiously as I gave that ambiguous answer. Just then, she touched my chest with the palm of her hand, as if checking my heartbeat.
私ったら失礼。
Not at all. My heart jumped the instant I felt her soft hand press against me.
でも確かにそうですね。ドクドクっと心配になるほど鼓動が感じられました。
Whoops. That's because you touched me, Marika. Touch me. Touch me harder. If you didn't get that reference, the fuck are you doing with your life? That's literally the best dub for any anime ever. Anime, not enemy. What the fuck, whatever the fuck I said.
私に触れられると、まさやくんはドキドキするのですか?
Yeah. Thought the conversation was suddenly drifting in a strange direction, but Marika had a surprisingly serious look on her face. I nodded, and Marika
そう。
mumbled that.
では、お背中を流した時や耳掃除をしてあげた時も?
Yeah. Even though we were standing in the street in broad daylight, I felt a twinge in my crotch when I thought back on how that had felt.
そう。
She nodded once more.
男の子ってそういうものなのでしょうね、きっと。
Do you dislike that? The way she spoke made me suspect as much, so I decided to ask her.
いえ、決してそういうわけではなくて。ただ、私、そういうことってよくわからなくて。
I nodded. I was sure that was probably true. I think you'll start to understand while we're dating. Probably. Something told me I just said something really bold. Yes, you basically said, "Oh, don't worry. Oh, there'll be plenty of opportunity for you to learn, because we're gonna be fucking like animals." Anika's face was red too. Well, there's no need to rush anything. That thought anew.
実はこれ、憧れていたんです。
With that adorable comment, we rode the merry-go-round. When we got off, Marika looked very content.
楽しかった。まさやくんも乗ればよかったのに。
Nice watching you, Marika. She smiled bashfully. Seeing her ride the horse with a huge smile across her face was indescribably charming.
そろそろご飯にしましょうか。
Yeah. We went back to the lockers to retrieve the cooler with our homemade lunchboxes we had prepared for the occasion. Eating on site like normal would have been fine with me, but Marika said,
遊園地と言ったらお弁当でしょう。
I really did think that she was a better girlfriend than I deserved.
保冷剤が入れてあるので少し冷えてしまっているかもしれません。サンドイッチにしたので冷たくても大丈夫かなとは思うのだけど。
They sound delicious.
さやくんたらまだ見てもいないのに。
She laughed and patted my back. I was pleased that physical contact between us like this felt far more natural now. We sat on a bench and spread out our lunch.
そうそう。本当は揚げたてが一番ですが、これは外せないなと思ったのがあって。
Yeah?
蓋を開けてのお楽しみです。
And so I opened the lid with excitement. It was silly for me to get excited over a simple lunchbox, but I was elated over the lunch my girlfriend had made for me. Ah, fried chicken.
まさやくんも確か好きなんですよね。
It would be kind of cute if that's like their that's gonna be like a special kind of food in their family in the future. Like just in order to celebrate stuff, they just have karaage or something. Just because of that little slip up on that date. Yeah, I love it. It says veggies in it too, huh? Cherry tomato, tomatoes, daikon, lettuce, and more. It was vibrant to the eye. I don't know about it, but I just remembered, like, I don't know who it was, but somebody, I heard at some point somebody complaining about tomato, tomato, potato, potato, because, like, sure, people say tomato and tomato, but no one fucking says potato. Anyways.
せめてサラダ風にしようかと思ってレモン醤油で和えました。
Wow, it looks delicious. Of course, the sandwiches looked super tasty too. Okay, thank you for the food. Reached out, but you gently held me back.
待って、ここは私が。はい。
It was not extremely embarrassing, but I obediently complied. Yeah, delicious.
それはよかった。じゃあ、次はどれにする？
Before that... Like before, let's eat together properly this time.
というと？
Last time you ate after I was all done, but that feels kind of wrong to me. Having you feed me is nice, but and I'm really happy you made all this food, but I don't want to be waited upon like some feudal lord. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It is often said that when you have two people together, joy is doubled and sorrow is halved. I've experienced firsthand how accurate that saying is lately. On that note, let's take turns eating today. Here, say ah. Marika opened her mouth, blushing profusely. Earlier, I had thought that being fed while saying ah was embarrassing. But both of us going ah was even more embarrassing. However, it definitely wasn't an unpleasant feeling. I think it would be a little dicey if both of us were absent from dinner and we went back early. It's still early in the day. Would have been nice to have fun together for a little while longer. It was somewhat disappointing, but the date itself was very satisfying.
まだ時間は大丈夫ですよね。まさやくん、ちょっと付き合ってもらいたいところがあるのですが。
Sure, where?
本屋さんです。
On that note, we headed to the large bookshop in front of the station.
前にも言いましたよね。自分の将来をどうするつもりであるか。今は白紙の状態であると。
I nodded. Marika's original plan was to find employment in Vincennes and eventually join the board of directors. However, she was now giving some serious thought towards her future.
まだ時間があるとはいえ、あまりのんびりはできません。そこで、本でも読んでみようかと思いまして。
Yeah, that sounds nice. It just reminds me of that one drama CD for Happy to Imagine Neptunia. There's literally just you reading with blonde, but you're suddenly craving physical contact. So you just sleep on her lap, but you keep moving around, slowly piss her off, so she fucking knocks you against the fucking wall. And that's when the fucking CD ends, when you pass out. However, the sweet thing is that after she knocked you out, she did put you back on her lap and just peacefully kept reading, and that's kind of adorable. But yeah, like, there's a bunch of, like, drama CDs like that. There is one where you're bathing with Vert because she's been locked up in her room, like, for about, I think, 72 hours or something like that, playing an MMO. And like basically you're starting to crave affection, so she decides to bathe with you, but you're blindfolded so you can't see anything, and then the blindfold comes loose, and then you're knocked out. I don't know why a lot of these end with you being knocked out. Like for a certain amount of time, like I was really into like checking out different drama CDs just to see what the fuck kind of stupid ass shit they could come up with. Anyways, I figured it would be difficult to pick something out if we stayed together, so we split up inside the shop. The store was 6 stories, so you could kill plenty of time just looking around haphazardly. Got it. Marika was carrying a rather large bag by the time we left the bookstore. You sure bought a lot. Want me to carry that for you? Marika shook her head, her face completely flushed bright red. The bus was as uninhabited as ever. When I took my seat, a pleasant fatigue encased my whole body. Was the rocking sensation of riding a bus that made it feel like your fatigue rose to the surface? Phew, I'm beat. Don't you have to ride back because you came on a bicycle? Marika looked a little sleepy herself. Yeah, me too. Oh, but I haven't gotten very far in my homework since I've been playing around the whole time. Yeah, that's... We exchanged small talk for some time, but gradually the lulls in our conversation grew longer. When I glanced over at the now quiet Marika, I could see that she was quietly breathing in her sleep. Well, cute. I suspected she had woken up early to make those lunch boxes for us. Must have taken quite a bit of work. I doubt it was something you could just whip up quickly. Marika, thank you. I whispered softly. Huh? Her bag from the bookstore suddenly opened a little, and I could make out the name on the front. It was a huge magazine with some sort of flashy cover. This couldn't have something to do with her occupation, could it? Wonder what it is. I know I shouldn't, but I squinted hard. Is to please your boyfriend. Marika's arm was covering the rest. I'll just pretend I didn't see this. You were sound asleep on the bus, huh? I figured you must have been exhausted, not just from us going out to have fun, but from making our lunch boxes. I just had a hunch, that's all. I smiled and shook my head. Okay, Marika, you can go on ahead. See ya. Oh crap, I left the bike behind. I completely forgot about it since I wanted to ride the bus together. No way around it, I guess I'll pick it up later. I'll go pick it up later. Ignore that. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and see y'all next time. I don't know what else to say here. Hold on, fuck that. Was there a CG I could use? I have no idea. Fuck. I do believe I could potentially ever so slightly be in trouble. No, don't close the entire fucking game. Go back to title. Come on, tell me there was a fucking CG. 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 Oh yeah, the karaoke one. Whew! Heart attack!
Let's let's take this one. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And I will see you guys next time.
プリンセスエヴァンジール
Bye bye for now.